Hello, Ellie. Do you have a little bit of time to talk with me right now? Hi, Judith. I can spare a little time right now, but only for around 15 minutes because I have other things to deal with today. Thank you. I think you may have already heard from Sid, but I sent you guys a fruit basket in the mail. I think they'll be to your house by tomorrow afternoon since I chose the fastest mailing option. It should come sometime in the morning, so can you please make sure to be home for that when it arrives so it doesn't sit on your guys' porch and spoil? A fruit basket? I've never heard anything from him about that. Did he really not let you know that is supposed to be arriving soon? Well, recently I received a lot of fresh fruit from one of the farmers near my house. Apples, pears, cherries, and so on. And since I'm only living here with my husband, the amount of fruit was way too much for the two of us to eat before it gets bad. And so I asked Sid if you and him would eat some of the fruit for us. I was thinking making and sending a basket of fruit to you guys would be a great way to pass some of my time as well and keep it all from going to waste here. And my husband said he'd take all of that fruit. Yep, he told me to send it all to him so you guys could take care of it. I assumed that he would tell you all about that, but sorry that he is so forgetful sometimes. No problem, he's always been that way around me. Well, I'll let him know that after this, he has to start informing you about things that actually affect you. Oh, while I still have you, next month we are going to be having a barbecue with my oldest son and his wife. If you guys have the time, I'd love that you and Sid come out as well to join us. There will be that 3-day weekend, right? And since the weather is supposed to be nice around then, we're pulling the grill out in the backyard and we'll be doing burgers and brats on it with all sorts of vegetables. We'll be fine without going. We like to have our time off to ourselves to relax and be home alone together. I see. I can understand that reasoning. And after all, you guys have only just gotten married. So I'm sorry for asking you guys to come out when you're both probably very busy still with post-marriage things and cleaning up the house after moving in. No worries. You don't have to bother with either of us for right now. And I'm happy to hear that you are understanding of our situation. But if you guys do change your minds and want to come after all, let me know ahead of time. That way we can have food for you both as well when you get here. Judith, are you close with your oldest son's wife? I am. Her and I both share similar hobbies and we go out together a lot. I'd say she's like the daughter I never had since I have spent most of my life surrounded by men. Is that so? I'm sure that what I'm about to say will come off as a little rude, but I don't think I really want to be around my mother-in-law on my days off. I'm sure that a lot of people don't want to spend all their time off with their in-laws. But when it comes to my oldest's wife, Cassie, she loves to be around us and enjoys the time we both spend together. And I'm sure that you are only thinking that because you feel as though she likes you. And until she tells you outright that she loves to be around you all the time, maybe you should just assume that it's actually a hassle for her. I know that it may not seem that way, but I'm sure she's just putting on a face so that you won't start to become upset with her. Okay then. Thank you for telling me, and I'll make sure to think of both your feelings some more moving forward. Please do that. I'm glad you are so willing to understand our feelings, Judith. And so for the time being, how about you and I, and even you and Cassie, have a bit more of a distant relationship? I think that's the best way to make sure that this whole family is happy and not overwhelmed. Judith, this is Allie. I just heard from my husband. Next week, you guys are planning on going out to eat with your oldest and his wife, right? Good evening, Allie. That's right. They seem to have gotten us all a reservation at a pretty expensive restaurant so that we can all have a little fine dining experience. And we had been talking about you and Sid also joining us, so I asked Sid how you both felt. Well, Judith, did you forget what I had told you a while back? Are you talking about how you told me that you don't really like to meet with me on your days off? So you did remember all of that. I was starting to think that maybe you were beginning to show signs of dementia or something. But this time it may sound like a poor reason to you, but your brother-in-law and Cassie were the ones that put this whole dinner together. My oldest and his father both have birthdays that are close together, so they wanted to celebrate it all at the dinner. And so we were thinking that maybe you guys would also like to come and celebrate with us. It'll be at a really nice Chinese restaurant in town, and I know how much Sid likes his spicy foods. I'm assuming it was you then that was totally fine with asking something like that of us, right? Not something that either of them told you to ask us about. Well, yes, but normally you should be able to tell them that it's not happening when they bring it up, right? I think that they both were just wondering about Sid and I, and that was your moment to tell them it wouldn't happen. I believe that you may have gotten ahead of yourself a little here. I'm sure that even Cassie doesn't want you joining them. This time, I'd say let them both and your husband go out and maybe stay at home so that you don't cause Cassie any more problems. Maybe you're right. I am right, Judith. For starters, making up some kind of event where you'd like us all to be there with you is a bit strange to me. I'd like it if you really began to understand what I meant when I asked for us all to be a bit more distant with you. I'm sorry about that, Allie. Well, I think I understand now that asking things like that from a thick-skulled woman like you is useless. I'll tell you straight. I do not want you asking me to go out with you when you already know it's not happening. Besides, things like emergencies within the family and whatnot, I do not want you talking to me. So when you have things you think you want to invite me to, think again and forget about me. That'll be the last time I tell you this without causing a fuss. All right then. But I'm telling you that this was in no way me forcing you to come and join us. I just assumed that by letting you know about the event and that you're more than welcome to come, you wouldn't feel as stressed out by me. And me letting Sid know about this was because he's my son, and I'd rather him tell you all about that than me. Is that your reason then? Well, if that's what your reasoning really is, then all of this talk between you and I has been for nothing. After this, don't ever invite Sid nor I out with you guys. And another thing, you sending us anything through the mail is unnecessary. By doing that, you force us to have to call and thank you for the gifts. I understand your feelings very clearly now. I'm very sorry for getting you so worked up over things between you and I. From now on, I'll no longer invite you to anything, and I won't send anything else in the mail to you both. Please and thank you. I have married your son and become his wife now, but I did not marry him with the intent of being family with you all. But that's only natural of me, right? I have been going out with Sid for the longest time now, and I never made an effort to be around you all, right? Yeah, that is right. I only just got married to him, so stop trying to get me to join you all now because it's annoying for me. And I know for a fact that Cassie feels the same way about all of this. I'm sorry, but there is not a wife in this world that likes to be around her in-laws as much as you think they do. Take a good look at the real world for me, please. Judith, I have gotten your gifts to me from when you went overseas. Hello, Allie. I know that you might have gotten some gifts from overseas, but they're not from me. I know that. These are all from my brother-in-law, right? Yes, that's right. But he told me that he doesn't need you telling him thanks or anything for all those treats. Seems that Sid asked him to get all of those things for you while he was out of the country. Well, I'm not actually talking to you right now because of the sweets that were brought back for me. Is that so? What all did you want to talk about then? I want to talk with you about the vacation that was taken out of the country. You went with all of them together, right? Don't tell me that you're thinking that this is me trying to do anything by being close with them and taking time to go visit another country. Oh, I am. I'm very surprised by just how awful a person you really are. Uh-huh. I told you before to stop trying to talk to the rest of us, right? But you're just trying to make fun of me now by going out of your way to be with Cassie and them. Are you not embarrassed to be as bad of a person as you are? I wasn't trying to make fun of you or anything, though. Well then, why did you do nothing with Sid and I? Only taking them overseas without us is terrible of you. Wait, I'm sorry, Allie, but I have no clue what you just said to me. I thought you were upset with me over being around them again. But you're upset that I didn't do anything with you guys involved? I was just doing as you had told me when you asked that I never talk to you guys or invite you anymore. And I was just letting Cassie and my son know that I really wanted them to come along with us out of the country for a bit. So you took the two of them to Europe, but then left Sid and I here with nothing? Uh-huh. Just as I've pointed out, you're trying to separate Sid and I from Cassie and your oldest. Stop that, please. Are you trying to harass me or something? That's terrible of you. If you're not trying to make fun of me and make me feel left out, then next time take us with you when you go overseas. Uh-huh. That's what's going on here. Well, then you can pay me $10,000 as well. Uh-huh. Why should I have to pay you $10,000? Like there's nothing wrong with that. You guys are the ones that should be paying for the trip, right? Well, that last trip we took, we all split the whole bill amongst ourselves so that we'd all have to pay for the trip a little. That last trip was $5,000 a person. And when I asked them last time to come with us, they paid $10,000 for their tickets and hotel, and we paid $10,000 for ours. You are lying to me right now. Cassie, she told me that you guys brought them along with you like they didn't have to pay a dime. That might just be something that she forgot to tell you. Maybe she meant that because my husband and I did a lot of talking to get us around Europe. My husband is pretty fluent in Italian, and I'm okay in French, so that came in handy quite a lot. And so when we went over, we handled all the things like directions and ordering food, so to them it felt like we were taking them both around for free. So you guys didn't have to pay for a tour guide or anything to help? That's right. I mean, when we go out to eat, we'd sometimes take the bill, and sometimes they would. But on this trip, we all paid for it equally. But they didn't have to worry about any sort of translator or tour guide. So they really didn't have to pay for that last trip, did they? You allowing them to go without having to pay up is wrong. You haven't done anything for Sid or I, and are now asking us to pay to go out with you all. Do you know how much it hurt me having to listen to Cassie tell me all about the trip you guys took? Allie, have you forgotten all of the things you'd been telling me before? You said you didn't want to be around the rest of us, right? Well, when it comes to money, it's another story. Excuse me? I bet if your oldest and Cassie had a baby, and Sid and I had one at the same time, you'd care more about their baby than you would about ours, right? I can see right now that you wouldn't even bother giving our kid any presents for Christmas because you'd spend all your money on theirs. Really, what are you talking about now? I'm being very serious when I say that I'm not trying to treat any of you guys any different from one another, okay? But you have to understand, as the mom, I like to pay for some things for everyone to enjoy when going out, alright? However, you asked for me not to include you guys in our events, so I never wanted to tell you anything like that. My God. This really is you harassing me. I don't think this conversation is getting anywhere now. I'm even the younger and more attractive-looking wife compared to Cassie. Yet you don't feel any drive to be more nice and caring to me. I only just got married to Sid and joined this family, and I'm already starting to feel regrets about it. And I was trying to talk to you more and invite you to join us all the time. Well, if you feel sorry for the way you've made me feel, then you take Sid and I on a vacation overseas with you. All expenses paid. I really wanted to go to Europe as well. Well, if you both can amass $10,000 to pitch in for that kind of trip again, then we'd be glad to take you both along. Just think, my husband and I will also be paying that much. So the total for a trip like that is $20,000. Even though when you took Cassie and your oldest, you didn't have them pay. They did pay for that trip, just not for a lot of other stuff we did along the way. And we were the ones that invited them that time, so we weren't going to force them to pay for all the trip when it was my husband and I that wanted them with us. Judith, my husband, Sid hasn't come back home yet. I don't know anything about that. Why are you all acting like you don't care about me right now? I am the wife of your younger son, and I am asking you about him. But you had said that you were not enjoying having me as your mother-in-law anymore. I'm really worried about him right now. And also, I know that this has all happened because of you guys. This is our fault. It sure is. It's because of you becoming closer to your oldest and his wife that a fight broke out. Well, this is all different from what I've heard. What he told me is that he couldn't take your selfishness any longer and had to do something. You guys didn't have the money, yet you went beyond what he had said to you and reserved a trip to go to Europe, right? So you do know where Sid is right now? You have it all wrong. All he did was come over to my place after finishing work to apologize to us. So he's here with us. Why was he apologizing to you both? Because you started making a fuss of this whole family and caused unnecessary drama. What? I'm not just talking about how you said I was making fun of you, or when you started to say that I was harassing you. You started to talk a lot more with Cassie as well, right? You started saying that she was being a butt kisser for always being around me, and a whole bunch of other horrible things about us. Well, that's because she was doing things that she shouldn't have been doing. What things wasn't she supposed to be doing, Ellie? It's because she was getting too close to you and making you think that she liked you that you started to treat her to everything. So I was just warning her to never do anything like that again with you and to just leave you behind. And why do you think that she has to listen to what you say? I was just letting her know what I thought since her and I are both young wives in the family. Is that so? Well, if that's okay with you, then I'd like to tell you some things that I think as your mother-in-law. Allie, I no longer want anything to do with you, and I never will again. So stop trying to get my family all riled up like you have before, okay? You're the one that's causing all kinds of problems with the family. And you asking that I never talk to you again also means that I'll never be able to tell you about any emergencies, right? That right there is you harassing me and asking for me to be in trouble. You stop it with that bullcrap right now. Do you still not see that you've been causing loads of trouble for everyone else in the family? If you think this is me harassing you, then go ahead and keep thinking that. I already told my son how I feel about you as his wife, and he's come to agree with me. Never try to talk to me like this ever again. You're a jerk. So this is your way of getting a fresh new wife in the family to leave then? Fine. Then let me ask you this since you have done a piss-poor job of explaining it to me thus far. What kind of relationship would you like to have with my family? I wanted you to feel like you were a part of this family, and that's why I was always asking you to come out and join us. But you told me that me doing that was a bother to you. I did say that, but you warned me about becoming too close with my oldest and his wife. And you told me that if I'm to invite you guys on any vacations, I have to be the one to pay for it all. And you ended up saying hurtful things to both myself and to your sister-in-law. I don't think that you can start treating me like this when I'm a part of your family. You told me that you didn't see the rest of us as your family. And for a long time now, you never bothered to treat any of us like your family either. So was that all a lie, and you really do want us to be your family? I don't think of you as my family. But when it comes to how the world sees it, we are still family. Fine, then I'm going to tell you what I really think of all this. The only people that have to love you unconditionally are your own two parents. I'm done here. I'm going to tell my parents about all this. And I'll make sure that you beg for forgiveness about taking so much time away from me. And you're going to regret every time you thought it was fun harassing me. I wonder about how that'll all turn out for you. Because what from Sid's told me, he says that you and him haven't been doing too well together as a couple. And since you didn't think of us as family, there is no problem with me ignoring you. Uh-huh. Well, if that's how it's been, then that's that. Goodbye forever, Allie. Hold on a second, please. Is this all happening because of you? Don't tell me that my husband is going to divorce me or something now over this. I haven't told him to do anything like that. Whatever happens next between you two is for you and him to decide on. Well, you tell him that he needs to think a bit more about us before making any stupid decisions. You want me to say that to him? Tell him that I was acting the way I had been out of any sort of spite towards you, okay? I just thought that it was a good idea to tell you how I felt. Is that what you'd been thinking? Well, at this point, whatever happens between the two of you has nothing to do with me. I don't want to get a divorce yet, though. Well, then you go and tell that to him instead of me, okay? But right now, him and I are in a fight with one another. I don't think that he'll be willing to listen to me now after the fights we've had. I think if it's something really important to you, then my son will be all ears for you. But I'm not sure that he'll change his mind after whatever you try and tell him. Judith, do something about this. Please. I'll make sure that from now on, I join all of you guys in your family events. And when I come, I won't make any complaints about anything. And I won't be rude to you anymore. And I'll make sure to stay on good terms with Cassie. I don't need you forcing yourself to act nice, so don't bother. Also, if you had the idea in your head that you were saying rude things to me but still continued with it, why wouldn't I still be mad at you? I'm sorry, but you have gone too far recently, and because of that selfishness, things are falling apart between you and your husband. I think you're the only one that hasn't been getting a good look at the real world. After that, Sid and Allie got together and talked about getting a divorce or not. But because of the amount of crying that Allie came to him with, and the amount of times she apologized to him, the divorce didn't happen. However, even after forgiving her and letting her stay with him, Allie continued to complain about me and Cassie because I was still being nice to Cassie and not nice enough to her. I did my best to just ignore Allie from that point on and leave her with Sid watching over her. But she got to the point where every day she'd be messaging my oldest and his wife about me. And so after a whole year of that crap had gone on, my son had really had enough of her and divorced her without even giving her a chance to cry to him. When the talk of the divorce started to come back around, Allie's parents tried to get between them and help things out. But of course, they had some things to comment about regarding Allie, and she went off on them for sounding like they were on Sid's side. Fortunately, Allie's wish of never getting a divorce from Sid never came true, and things ended between them, even after her parents tried to help. And at that point, her parents were agreeing with Sid on his reasons for the divorce. And so after getting her to sign the papers, they took her away by force so that Sid could have some peace of mind. Right now, she had shut herself into her parents' house, and ever since she went back there, we have never had to see her again. Her parents even seemed to be pretty disappointed in her for the way she acted around us, and told me over the phone that they never wanted any of this to happen to us. And as one last act of them showing that they were sorry for her, they sent us a few boxes of chocolates and a note, and that was our last time ever hearing about Allie and her family. I think some would say that had she been a bit more kind towards us, or at least changed after their close call with divorce that first time, she'd still be a part of the family. But even after that first time and she was allowed to stay with Sid, she never once came to my oldest and Cassie or me to say she was sorry for the way she acted. So I think we all knew in this family that things would never work out for her. And to be honest, I do not regret having her leave this family whatsoever. I think this was all due to the problem she has with her heart and mind, and nothing to do with Sid or the rest of us. Actually, because of what had happened, I have become even closer with Cassie, since we both shared the same experience of being hurt by Allie. I do feel really bad for Sid that he lost his wife after everything, but right now this whole story is so much fun to laugh at. I know that not all women like to be around their in-laws all the time when they join the family, and so that's why I didn't try and force her to be a part of our events. But Allie got upset because I was doing the exact thing she had asked me to do. I was tired of holding back, and that's why I put down my shield and attacked her. I don't think anyone should have become so close to someone that only focuses on themselves and no one else. So I'll make the point that I was not trying to harass her very clear by becoming even more kind with Cassie whenever she's with me, as well as to both my boys. And if the time comes that Sid does find another woman to get married to, I'll do the same thing as I did with everyone else and ask her to be around the family without forcing her to be.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Camilla, today I'm going to be bringing some of my coworkers home, so can you make sure to have the liquor and the snacks out for us when we get there?
What? Today? This morning I told you I wasn't feeling all too well, right?
You did, but you should be feeling better now that it's getting into the afternoon, right?
It's not gotten any better, though. Compared to this morning, my fever has only gone up in temperature.
Did you take any medicine for it?
I have.
Then you'll be fine. That fever will be gone by tonight.
You don't know about that yet? Jared, please. Can you please ask your coworkers to come over to the house another day?
They already said they can come over today, so there's no going back now. If I told them now that they can't come over, they might stop trusting me.
But if you bring all of them over to hang out here tonight, I'm not going to be able to take care of you all when I'm feeling this badly. At the very least, can you have them over tomorrow night?
I've already made up my mind about this. I have some younger guys who just joined the company coming as well, and they are looking forward to your cooking. A lot of them don't have a wife yet, so they are really looking forward to what one can do in the kitchen. It is times like these where I need to show them what it's like being a husband and what they all have to look forward to, right?
If I were feeling a lot better than this, then I wouldn't mind you having them over at all, but today is really not going to work for me. So please change the date they come over. At this point in time, I can't even go to the grocery store to pick anything up.
Just have everything delivered to you or something. There are all kinds of services now that deliver your groceries to you, and then you and my papa can make dinner for everyone together.
The reason I'm asking you to change your plans to another day is because I can't do that.
Are you really planning on disappointing me once again? A little while before I called saying that I'd be bringing everyone over, but you were already asleep, right? I really have no use for you anymore.
Well, you never told me that day that you'd all want to come back home so late at night. Also, this time is a completely different situation. My health isn't all too great right now, so there's nothing we can do about it besides letting me rest.
Let you rest? It's not my fault that you're sick. Listen to this, Camilla. Who do you think's the one that provides everything for you? You get to eat whatever you want, right? I provide for you so that you can be helpful at times like these.
But today is just not happening. I am asking you to please just change your plans for me. I want to relax for the day.
Then first start by apologize to me for not taking care of your health and for not being able to help your husband.
Huh? Are you that upset with me over this? Everyone has days where they come down with something no matter how much they care for their health.
It's going to be your fault that my plans with my coworkers have to be canceled now, right? So you should apologize for that. Don't you feel bad for what you've done? What? Do you seriously think that I've done something wrong?
I'm sorry.
I don't think you are.
I'm sorry for not caring for my health well enough and not being able to help you out today.
Had you started off by apologizing to me like that, then we would have never had to argue about this. I'm sure you were aware of that. Could this mean that you wanted to upset me?
Of course I didn't want to upset you, Jared.
Then you listen to me and do as I say. You really are wasting my time and effort. If you don't want things to get worse, you stop acting like a selfish child, understand me?
Do you really think I'm that bad of a wife?
You're going to ask me that? I have all the proof in the world showing how useless you are. I want you to stop it with all this talking back and only reply yes or no to me. I'm getting really fed up with being married to someone as ungrateful and stupid as you are. You better not disappoint me any more than you already have today.
Jared, when are you coming home tonight? I plan on making dinner for you tonight.
That has nothing to do with you.
Are you still upset with me?
I still haven't got any apologies from you.
What do you mean, apology from me? Do you think I've been causing that many problems for you?
Of course I do. You already messed up once by making me cancel my plans to have a small gathering at the house with my coworkers. But then the next day you ended up having the freaking flu.
I didn't want to get sick with the flu, though.
Then you should have gone straight to the hospital that day to have them cure you.
Back then, I thought I just had a cold of sorts.
You're always making up such stupid excuses like that, huh? Do you not have any ability to learn in that head of yours?
I am not making excuses.
This is a freaking excuse. Always getting in the way of my life like that. You should be more mindful of your husband's life and make sure not to screw it up all the time.
Jared, I didn't marry you with the intent of pissing you off all the time, all right?
So you just married me with the intent of wanting to get in my way.
You know better than to ask me that.
You never seem to learn from anything I tell you. Do you need to go see a doctor for that? You suck at remembering things I tell you. And when it comes to chores around the house, you never get them done the way I want them done. Yet you still think you can get away with not apologizing to me after all I've done for you?
You think I have to thank you all the time for being the one to marry me?
Who is the one in this relationship bringing in the money? I have to work every freaking day to do that for us.
I am thankful that you're always working for our sakes. But to me, being married means that we both think of one another as equals. We shouldn't be asking for thanks from one another for getting married. I married you because I love you, and I thought you felt the same for me. What did you marry me for?
Listen, I'm not saying that I don't love you. You really just love to change the conversation on me all the time. I am not talking about the love of this marriage.
But you are always the one that never wants to talk to me about things like this, and I think it's time we do. So far, things have always been about me being at fault for everything. And until I come up and apologize to you for something I don't quite understand, you act like a total jerk to me. Like you don't even love me.
I'm only upset about the fact that you can never do anything. And you should be apologizing to me all the time because you're always at fault. But when I confront you about that, you're always quick to have an excuse for it. All you have to do is apologize for all the wrongs you've done to me. Then things would never end up this way.
I do feel like there are some things I've been doing wrong, but I'm not the only one that's been making mistakes.
I'm getting really pissed off right now. You still seem to think others are at fault as well, huh? I'm going to stop handing you any money from groceries and things like that.
What? I think you are being way too oppressive now.
Then apologize to me. Tell me you're sorry for back-talking to me. When I get home today, I want you on your hands and knees apologizing to me.
Why do I have to do that?
Because you still don't understand the position that you're in. Until you come and apologize to me properly, you're not getting any money from me. I hope you're prepared for a life without my help.
Jared, can you make sure to come right home after work today?
Huh? Why do I have to listen to what you want from me?
I have something very important to talk to you about.
If you're going to be apologizing to me, then I'll come and listen. I'll be home right after work, and you'd better be in the entrance to the house on your hands and knees waiting for me.
I'm not apologizing to you anymore.
What do you mean by that?
I want to get a divorce, please.
A divorce? You want a divorce?
Why are you laughing at me?
No, I'm just a bit surprised by this new tactic you have here. So you think you're going to get me to fold by asking that? You will go to those lengths in order to not apologize to me then, huh?
That's not it. I actually want a divorce now, and that's why I'm asking for one. And that's why I want you home early tonight so that we can talk about it.
Freaking idiot. Why do I have to be the one to listen to your selfish requests now?
My selfish requests? You think that me asking for a divorce now is selfish?
All right. We can stop talking about it now. I'm sure you don't actually want a divorce from me, right? I thought that you were going to apologize to me today, but instead you were going to try playing that stupid game with me?
Jared, I have put a lot of thought into our relationship and everything, and I've come to the conclusion that I want a divorce. This is not about me wanting you to forgive me or about me wanting to break you. I don't think I can be around you anymore, and that's why I want this divorce now. A tactic? Saying that I'm being selfish by saying things like this? Stop thinking things like that and get real with me, please.
I'm not coming home tonight.
What?
I'm going to be exhausted from working, and I don't want to be coming home to you talking like a complete maniac.
You can at least come home and discuss this with me, right? I really want to get a divorce from you.
Shut up with it already. Why do I have to be the one to do as you ask? I can choose when I want to be home whenever I want.
Please, Jared, I want a divorce, so please do that for me.
Are we done here yet? Getting a divorce wouldn't just become a problem for us. At our wedding, all our friends and family came to celebrate our marriage with us. Do you want all of them to feel bad for wasting their time celebrating us by having a divorce? My parents have done so much for you as well. Ugh. You must want to make my parents upset now as well. You want them to be sad.
Even if they do become saddened by a divorce, I don't want that for them, and I don't want to continue with this marriage. I can't. If things keep going the way they're going, I am going to go crazy.
I'm going to act like I never heard any of this from you.
Why? You don't love me anymore either, right? You don't like any of the things I do, and you're always blaming me for everything. So let's just get all of this over with and have this divorce.
I have no idea what you're talking about. How about you take the night to calm yourself down? And if you're still going on about wanting a divorce tomorrow, then I'm not going to go easy on you. I do not want a divorce here. I'm not going to have some useless woman ruining my image by getting a divorce from me. No way in hell. I'm coming home now. Get dinner and a bath ready for me.
You must think you deserve everything, don't you?
Huh? What is with you this time? Why are you talking to me that way? You think that after trying to threaten me with a divorce, you can start acting tough?
Why don't you want a divorce?
A woman who can never live her life without me in it wants to divorce me? How the hell is a useless housewife like you ever going to be able to live in this world when you've experienced nothing? Do you really have nothing in that skull of yours? Go take a trip to the hospital, would you? I'm telling you that all you need to do is shut up and do as I say.
The only one in need of a checkup by the doctor is you. Who do you think it is that's been allowing you to have a good life?
What is with you right now? Why are you acting like you're so amazing now? Do you really want to make me furious? If I were to really get mad right now, do you know what would happen? You better stop this crap right now.
Nothing's going to happen when you get mad. You are far too old now to be acting like such a bully.
Huh? You better stop that right now. Is this the way you think you can talk to the man of the house now? The one that's been bringing in the money and everything?
I happen to be your mother, though. So you'd better cut that crap right now before I get your dad here. I want you to tell me what the hell is going on here. Jared, you explain yourself to me right now.
Huh? Mom? This is Camilla's phone number though, right? Are you trying to act like a mom right now? To try and scare me into submission now? All you do is the most unnecessary crap, and it's really going to bite you in the butt soon.
This is your real mother. I just happened to borrow this phone from Camilla is all. Right now, I've been with her, listening to everything she's had to tell me about this divorce she's been wanting.
Is this really my mom?
I already told you. I'm the only one that happens to know about all your bedwetting problems from when you were in middle school, right? And I'm the one that knows your first love was Rachel, But she ran away from you soon after you both started dating, and you cried all night about it, right?
All right, so this means Camilla's with you right now.
Yes, she came over to our house. Camilla sent me a message a little while before. She told me she wanted to come over and explain why she wanted a divorce from you all of a sudden. I was shocked to see her in such a rough shape talking to me about it. I had thought the both of you were doing so well together, but that doesn't seem to have been the case.
Mom, you have it all wrong here. Camilla is full of problems. And because of that, no matter what I have her do, she fails at it. So recently we've just had a small fight over that.
What about her wanting a divorce is some small fight to you? She's shown me all the messages that you've both been sending back and forth. From what I've seen from the past few months, you seem to be the only one getting upset about things. Camilla is way too kind of a woman for someone like you to be acting that way. I think Camilla is far too good to be with someone as toxic as you. You divorce her right now.
But I don't think that Camilla really wants to get a divorce from me. She just doesn't have her head on straight.
Camilla has been thinking about divorce for a long time now, Jared. She was trying to think of ways to get your relationship back to the way it was before getting married. And she tried thinking of ways to get you to understand her feelings.
So she's been talking about divorce now to try and get me to listen to her. You don't have to worry about it anymore because it's all just empty threats from her. This was just a fight and I can get her to stop all that.
We are far past you fixing anything anymore, Jared. No matter how many times she's tried to work things out with you, you've gone back to blaming her for all your problems, making her apologize to you for everything, even though she's not the one to blame. I think she's had enough of all that, and that's why she wants the divorce now. So you stop trying to act like she's just bluffing and take her seriously now.
But it's no joke. She is to blame for a lot that's going wrong in my life. She never seemed to be thankful for all the work I do and all the money I allow her to use. All she does is talk back to me and forces me to get my blood pressure up. And what makes all this worse is that she's a housewife but never seems to do any of the chores right. I have every right to be pissed at her, and you should know that.
Well then, if she's not good enough for you, then why not get a divorce? You don't want her as your wife anymore, right? Every day you're complaining about her like you want her to stay away. So if you're going to keep doing that, then a divorce is the best thing for you.
No, I think I could do something about her before we have to start thinking about divorce. All couples have their fights every once in a while, right?
I don't think any of this has been a fight between you two, and that's why I want you and her to get this divorce. From what I can tell, you just like to be in control. You think that just because she's the wife and she does all the chores at home, you can rule over her as though you're a king or something? Is she a peasant to you? Or worse yet, is she your slave?
That's not how I think of her.
It's because of her that you're able to come home to a clean house with food on the table and a bath ready for you every day, right? I remember back when you lived with your father and I here, you would never do the chores, and when you graduated college, you never gave us any money for letting you stay longer. And when I would stop doing your chores for you to see what would happen, your room would instantly turn into a mess, and you never cleaned any of your clothes.
That was back when I was young, Mom. Right now, that has nothing to do with who I am.
Oh, I think it does, Jared. The only reason you have a clean and spotless house with your bedding and clothing cleaned every day is because of Camilla. If it wasn't for her, you'd be living in a pigsty, eating takeout all day long. But since you haven't seemed to thank her for any of that, then I think it's best that you both do get this divorce.
Mom, can you give the phone to Camilla? I want to have a little talk with her.
I can do that, but I'm going to make sure she can get this divorce. So don't expect her to listen to any more of your complaints. And you sure won't have your father or I listening to them anymore either. We are both supporting her through this now.
I already told you this, but she doesn't have her head on straight. I'm sure that after talking things through with her, she'll understand and calm down again.
Jared, your mom gave me my phone back.
Camilla, I think you're taking things way too far here. Don't you feel a little stupid getting my parents wrapped up in this fight now?
You were the one that said it to me, right? If we get a divorce, we'd be disappointing everyone, right? So I came to their house to apologize for what's going to happen.
But you and I haven't even had a chance to talk things through yet. It's a bit messed up of you to go to them about this before coming to your own husband, right?
Who was the one that decided not to come home when I asked to have a talk? I asked you to come home right after work to talk about the divorce, right? But you just kept saying that I was being the selfish one. You were the one that chose not to listen to me, and instead of coming home to figure things out with me, you ran.
I get it, all right? I'll talk with you about it now. So, can you come back to the house now?
I'm not going back there. The next time I'm over there will be my last, and it will be when I come and grab all my things. I've had enough of you, Jared. It's over.
Camilla, what's happened to you? Before all this, you would do everything in your power to listen to and do what I asked, right? That's why you and I have been doing so well together thus far, right?
I was only biting my tongue while doing all you asked me to do in order to keep our marriage going. But now I've realized that every day you and I have been married, things have only gotten worse and worse for me. When we first started living together, you never blamed me for anything, but would just comment. And back then, I thought you commenting on what I did was totally acceptable. But things only got worse, and you started to comment more. And then those turned into complaints. And now they are just you blaming me and threatening me. It's been so long since I had last had a breath of fresh air.
If you had such a problem with me talking to you like that, then you should have told me sooner.
I think I have been telling you, though. But you'd just say that I was talking back to you, and then you'd only get more upset. And you would stay upset with me until I came and apologized to you. At first, I would apologize to you to get you to stop acting like a brat, but I can't do that anymore. I hate it. I've finally come around to thinking that you and I can't be together anymore.
I'll apologize to you for that. So just come home to me now. From now on, I'll try to listen to you a bit more, okay? We're totally fine, and we'll make things right.
We have no reason to make things right now. You've already gone and shown me the true person you are, and there is no going back from that now. My heart is broken from the sight of the true you, and you cannot fix that anymore. I don't want to be around the people that hurt me in this way.
But I don't hate you, Camilla. I married you because you were so kind and always thought about me no matter what. That's the Camilla I loved.
In other words, you liked having a woman around you that would never talk back to you and do as you said. That's how it's always been with me, right? And another thing, the only reason you don't actually want a divorce is because you don't want your image being ruined by a divorce from a bad wife. I can't believe I ever married a man as shallow as you, only concerned about his own image and his own life.
Wrong. That's not right at all. I married you because I love you. Hey, Camilla, is there something you want?
Huh? What's this about?
If you come home to me right now, I'll take you out and buy whatever you want. It doesn't matter what it is. I'll buy it. Even your favorite brands that I normally say no to.
What are you going on about, Jared? Please stop messing with me like that, all right? You are not going to change my mind by buying me the things I want.
I'm not messing with you, though. I just want you to realize that I'll do anything for you. I feel sorry for what's happened here. I should have been listening to you more, and I want to start doing that now.
It's too late.
I will do anything and everything you ask of me, though. I want to show you that I can be just as kind as you are. So if there is ever anything you want from me, tell me. I promise I will always be kind to you from now on.
Well, if that's what you promise, then I want you to sign the divorce papers. Because the only thing I want right now is for you and I to become strangers again. I am tired of having to apologize to you every day over nothing, and I'm sick of having to act like there is nothing wrong with you. You continued to say that I was useless and stupid, so I'd like to take this opportunity and give you a chance to find a better wife for yourself. From there, I was able to get that divorce I'd been wanting from my husband. I was a little worried that at some point the wedding would be put on hold by him, but after having both his parents tear him a new one, he was left crying and with nothing else to do besides sign the papers and hand them in for me. At the office where Jared had been working for a while now, rumors began to spread about how he was not a good husband to his wife, and that he needed to take some classes in ethics or something. Apparently the last time he had some of his coworkers over to the house, he introduced me to them by laughing about how awful of a wife I was, and nitpicked all the things he didn't like about me. And after they started to drink, he would only become worse when talking about me. But due to all that talking and complaining from him about his wife, his coworkers really did start to have doubts about him being a proper husband, or man at that. And that's where the rumors began. As of right now, having gone back to the life of being a single man, Jared is not bothered to do any of his chores, and his house has turned into one huge trash heap. After the divorce, Jared has really been having a hard time at both work and in his private life. And a little while later, he sent me one text as an apology message for all he'd done to me. But I really do not ever want to be around him or even hear from him again, so I went and changed my phone number. I really don't care about what happens to him anymore now, since he's no longer my husband. But I do hope that the next woman he finds, he doesn't treat the way he treated me. Right now, I'm back at my parents' house and have been getting back to work, saving up money so that I can one day start living on my own again. Luckily, thanks to Jared's parents, they both forced him to give me a lot of money in the divorce. And so for a little while, I don't have to be super stressed about my financial situation. I think while I'm getting back out there with work and everything, I'm going to take it slow in order to let my heart heal. Then, once my heart is healed up and I've started to work full time, I'm going to find my own place and live the life I've started to want. As a single woman, of course.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Just wait until you hear this, Anya. My wonderful niece brought her new little girl over to meet me yesterday. She's as cute as a button. She has the most amazing little smile you'll ever see. I couldn't resist splashing out a bunch of new baby clothes for her.
Hey, Bessie, how's it going? When you say your niece, do you mean Angie?
Yes, I do, actually. I didn't know you knew my niece's name. I'm surprised, since you never make the effort to come to any of our family gatherings. Go on, I'm curious now. How did you know?
I met her at mine and Terrence's wedding, remember? She's so lovely and sweet, I couldn't forget her. Plus, he told me she had a little girl recently. It's so nice to hear she's doing well.
Oh, I see. Well, I think you did well to remember her name, given most of my family still doesn't know yours.
That's okay, I don't mind. I'm sure they'll remember me eventually.
You might have your work cut out for you, but don't let that stop you trying, darling. You should know that we have a strong sense of solidarity in our family, and we don't take very kindly to outsiders. I doubt any of them would go out of their way to get to know the likes of a stranger like you.
I see.
Oh, forgive me if it sounds like I'm being rude, dear. I don't mean to be. But you are ultimately only my daughter-in-law, which essentially makes you a stranger to us. You can't expect us to welcome you into the family with open arms straight away.
Right. Little by little is fine by me. I'm committed to Terrence and this family, and I'm willing to work hard to earn your approval if that's what it takes.
Well then, in that case, you won't mind if I ask you to start taking care of the preparations for next week for me, will you?
The preparations for next week? What's happening next week?
Haven't you heard? Everyone's getting together for a barbecue at our place next weekend. The whole family will be there. The summer will be over soon, so we're squeezing in one last family get-together before the cold creeps in and we're all cooped up indoors.
Really? That sounds cool. I hadn't heard.
Which is why I want you to help me with the preparations. Can you bring me 10 people's worth of meat and vegetables for next Friday night? We'll be making burgers, so we'll need bread buns and ketchup too. Oh, and of course, naturally, we'll need drinkies. Bring wine, beer, whiskey, gin, and cocktail ingredients.
Got it. I'll do a big shop at PeepSmart and bring everything over on Friday afternoon.
Delightful, oh good girl. It's such a shame you won't be able to join us for the barbecue itself, dear. I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. I'm just happy to help out.
Fantastic. I'm so pleased you seem to know your place. Can you imagine how difficult this would be if you defied me at every turn?
Right. Anyway, I wanted to ask you something about your husband's funeral next week. I know I'm not normally invited to family events, but I was doing some thinking. Maybe it would be better if I did go this time?
It's fine. You don't have to bother coming to Randy's funeral.
But he's Terrence's dad. Don't you think me not going would be a little...
You don't need to finish that sentence. Forget about it. This isn't your concern. Just worry about getting the things for the barbecue together, and me and you won't have any issues. Think about it. Why would you go? It's not like you ever met him. He didn't know you, and you have no memories of him. You were strangers. If anything, it'd be weirder if you went. Funerals are all about paying respects for loved ones. You being there would be meaningless.
All right, fine. Point taken. I guess I'll just make sure Terrence looks his best on the day then.
Excellent, that's more than enough. Now back to the matter at hand. I'm counting on you for next Friday, Anya. We all are. Don't let us down. I'll pay you back anything you spend on the food when I see you, so don't worry about the money.
Got it. I'll message you on Friday when I'm on my way. If you think of anything else you need in the meantime, just let me know. Take it easy.
Hello, Anya, are you there? I have another favor to ask of you.
Hey, Bessie, what can I help you with?
The craziest thing happened. We all decided to go on a big family holiday together at the dinner after Randy's funeral. I wanted to ask you if you wouldn't mind putting together a travel schedule for us all, and if it wouldn't be too much trouble, we'd be very grateful if you could book all of our flights and hotels, too.
You want me to book your holiday?
I know it might be a nuisance, but surely you don't mind. You are a newcomer in this family, after all. You'll plan and book our holiday for us, won't you, dear? Won't you?
Listen, Bessie, didn't Terrence message you about this sort of thing?
Oh, now that you mention it, he did say something. What was it again? Stop asking Anya for favors if you're not going to invite her to family events? Sure, he might have said that, but this time is different. I've decided to be incredibly generous and let you come along for the family holiday this time. You've worked hard to show your commitment to the family, and I think it's about time you were rewarded.
Huh? You serious? You mean I can actually come?
Of course you can come, darling. You're family. I take it my son won't have any more complaints after this? Besides, I hope you haven't been getting the wrong idea, sweetie. It's not that I didn't invite you to family events out of malice or ill will. We're a quirky bunch, you know. You should know that even if we did welcome you into the family with open arms, you'd probably find it a very difficult environment to adjust to. It might be difficult to understand from the outside, but things are just better this way.
Right. Anyway, back to the holiday. Sure thing. Let me speak to Terrence about it first, okay?
Excuse me? Well, what do you need to speak to him about? You mean I just went out of my way to invite you on a family holiday and you need to go off and consult with my son about it first? The ingratitude! I thought you'd be pleased.
Bessie, please, it's not like that at all. It's just that I don't think he knows about me going on the holiday.
Irrelevant. You're planning and booking it for us, and that's final. The whole family's taking time out of their busy schedules to go on this trip. It's a miracle we were able to pull it off in the first place, but there's no way any of us will be able to find the time to plan it. You're the only one who can do this, Anya. You have no children, and you work a crummy part-time job. What objection could you possibly have? You have nothing but free time. Anyone would think you'd be jumping at the opportunity to finally prove your commitment to this family, and you need to speak to Terrence about it? What reason could you possibly have for not helping us on this?
I'm sorry, but could you confirm what you said for me again? I'm having trouble comprehending the idea that you'd suddenly invite me on a huge family vacation despite not giving me a look-in until now. Are you sure it's really okay for me to come on this thing with you guys?
I said it is, didn't I? How many times do you want me to repeat myself?
It's just that Terrence told me that he heard you all discussing the vacation at your husband's funeral. He was there the whole time, and he said I wasn't mentioned at all.
He said that? Oh, that's nonsense, dear. Don't listen to him. He must have not heard us talking about you is all.
Did he really not hear it?
That's right, dear. He didn't. You know, my son has always been this way. He's very good at looking like he's paying attention when he's actually miles away. It was either that, or he must have been in the toilet when your name was mentioned. Anyway, that's enough of this. I'll message you the details later on. I made a bunch of notes on where we're going and the tourist spots everyone wants to go to while we're there. You might have your work cut out since everyone in our family has varied tastes, but I think you'll have a blast planning this thing for us. Come up with the vacation plan using the stuff I send you as a reference. Make sure you pick us a good quality hotel and lots of fun activities. We also only want the most luxurious food and don't want to go to any areas that might be dangerous or have poor people in them.
Got it.
Tell my son to book the time off work as early as he can. It's not often we all get to go on vacation as a family like this, so let's make the most of it. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. My mother-in-law will be joining us.
Wow, really? In that case, I'll see to it that there's as little walking as possible. I think I remember you telling me she's not very good on her feet, right? Come to think of it, I should probably hire a minibus or something.
That's right. To tell you the truth, I would have preferred to do plenty of walking to tire the old bat out. But it's just as you say, she's not very good on her legs these days, and once she starts complaining, there's no stopping her. She's like a dog with a bone. So please plan out the holiday with keeping her quiet in mind. Lord knows I'll be the one who ends up getting it in the neck if she isn't satisfied with something. Queen Mildred must have her way.
All right, understood. Leave it with me. If it's not too much trouble, could you let me know if there are certain things people can't eat? Likes, dislikes, that kind of thing? Oh, and we can't forget allergies. We don't need anyone to go into anaphylactic shock in the middle of a restaurant, that's for sure. Most places go out of their way to avoid that kind of thing these days to prevent lawsuits, so if I know beforehand, I can make sure we're good.
Hold on 1 minute, young lady. Just who on earth do you think you are making all these requests of me? Why should I have to be your errand girl? Ask them yourself.
I mean, I would, but I haven't even met everyone yet. Plus, I don't have their numbers.
So get them off Terrence and do some cold calling. Why should I have to be your slave? There's no reason I should reduce myself to doing bothersome crap like this when I have a daughter-in-law with nothing but free time on her hands to do it for me.
Sorry. All right, fine. I'll see if Terrence will help me. Hopefully I can get this thing planned to a level everyone will be happy with. I've never done anything like this before, so I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a teeny-weeny bit nervous.
Don't worry, darling, you'll be fine. We're all counting on you to give us the vacation of our lifetime, so no pressure. Oh, and by the way, make sure you don't say anything rude when you call them. If you stick your foot in it by saying something that upsets someone, I'll be the one who ends up getting embarrassed, so watch your mouth, young lady. Anya, did the money for the vacation go into your account yet? I sent it the other day.
Yeah, it's in, thanks. I already used it to book the flights and the hotel. I'm looking at activities now. Hopefully I can find something for everyone to enjoy.
Thanks for doing this for us, darling. We're very grateful. Now all we have to do is go and enjoy it without you.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Next month's vacation, you're not invited. For you, it's house-watching duty. Sorry, dear, but another of our relatives, who we like far more than you, has taken your spot.
I knew it! This was your plan from the get-go, wasn't it? I bet you never planned to let me come for 1 second.
Isn't it obvious? I told you, a daughter-in-law is as good as a stranger to me. Like hell we'd want you with us. You'd spoil the whole trip. The trouble is, if we didn't at least pretend we were going to let you come, my overly sensitive son would have thrown a tantrum. I thought I may as well use the situation to my favor and have you arrange all the boring planning stuff. It's actually kind of cute how easy you were to deceive. Don't think you're getting off the hook that easily, though. Everyone knows you have no life, so you can make use of your free time while we're away by cleaning my house from top to bottom. A daughter-in-law is as good as a stranger. Is that so, Bessie? No, you're uninvited, and you can watch my house. I want it so clean I can eat my breakfast off it. Huh? Where on earth did that come from? Cut the crap. I heard all about what you've been doing. Anya, what's gotten into you? Are you drunk? Why are you speaking such complete and utter nonsense all of a sudden? I am not Anya. I'm your mother-in-law. Huh? Mildred? Stop it, Anya. This isn't funny. You're pretending to be my mother-in-law to scare me, aren't you? Oh, well, it won't work. I'm not pretending to be anything. It's really me. Don't believe me? Tell me, Bessie. Who else would know about how you broke down in tears to my son after the first time we met because of how strict and mean I was? Ever since then, you complained to him that I was bullying you practically every time I opened my mouth. Oh my God. It really is you, isn't it? That's what I just said, isn't it? I didn't tell you, but I got myself a new smartphone recently, and I'm even on Peep's Messenger now. Anya's been telling me all about the vicious bullying campaign you've been waging against her. I see. So are you going to explain yourself or not? You know, I always thought it was strange that my grandson's wife never showed up at family gatherings. Now I know it's because you were telling her not to come the whole time. No, you're wrong. You hear all the time about how young people these days don't go to family events anymore because they're not seen as cool or hip. I did it for her benefit. She's a young girl in her 20s, for crying out loud. I didn't think she'd be interested in coming and hanging around with a bunch of old dears in their 50s and 60s. But at the same time, I knew she'd be too polite to tell me, so I told her not to come instead. Even if that were true, don't you think the way you went about it went a little too far? You went out of your way to let Anya know you'd all be getting together without her at every opportunity. What was it you told her? That a daughter-in-law is as good as a stranger? And that she had no right to go to family events? Admit it, Bessie. What you really mean is that you don't think of her as family, isn't it? Go on, out with it. I might be able to respect you if you're actually honest for once. Mildred, please, I didn't mean it like that. Your lies don't wash with me. I've heard from several relatives about how you told them not to engage with the outsider. Is there anyone in either of our families malicious or wicked enough to treat poor Anya that way without you putting them up to it? I think not. You're the only one with a heart rotten enough to do this. No, you've got this all wrong. I thought that if I said that to everyone and made the atmosphere a little awkward between them, Anya would find it easier not to come to family gatherings. How do you explain the family vacation, then? You worked her like a dog to plan and book a holiday you didn't even intend on letting her go on. What's more, you demanded that she stay at your place to be your personal housemaid while you were away. What the devil is wrong with you, woman? No, that was, I thought maybe she'd want some alone time. You know how tough married life can be. Give it a rest already. I am sick of hearing your lies. I asked our relatives. They told me all about how much crap you talk about that poor girl. You justify it to them by saying she's rude or insolent or doesn't know her place or that she answers you back all the time. You spread a rumor that Anya hates everyone and wants as little to do with the family as possible. No, it's not true. I didn't put it that bluntly. Well, that's how everyone I asked felt you were treating her, so what difference does it make? Not a single one of them had anything positive to say about you. Things are probably hard enough for her fitting into a new family as it is without you making her life 1,000,000 times harder than it has to be. How could you be so horrible to such a sweet young lady? Did anyone in my family treat you that way when you married my Terrence? No. So why would you behave like this? I'm embarrassed to be your mother-in-law. Mildred, I'm sorry. I only did what I thought was best for her. If that was true, you wouldn't have made her plan and book a holiday for your entire family before canceling her at the last minute. You're a fully grown woman, and you're more than capable of arranging your own vacations. Stop treating that poor girl like your slave and take responsibility for yourself, you pathetic excuse of a woman.
Hey, Bessie, I have a message from your mom-in-law. She says she wants you to send photos when you're done mopping the hallway.
Anya, are we really still doing this? I've been cleaning this damn house every day since you all went on vacation without me. Ugh, do you really have to make me send pictures every time I finish cleaning something? It's demeaning. It's like a little girl being supervised.
Mildred said she wanted to keep an eye on you to make sure you don't slack on your jobs. It's tough for her too, you know. She'd much rather focus on enjoying the vacation. It's time to roll your sleeves up, stop complaining, and get back to work.
Ugh, why you little... Do you think this is an acceptable way to treat your mother-in-law? You're my daughter-in-law. You should be on my side. This little ingratiate yourself with Terrence's grandma game of yours is going to backfire big time one day, young lady. Mark my words. You obviously haven't thought this through, but she'll kick the bucket long before I do.
It's fine. This ultimately has nothing to do with Mildred. I just decided I'm not going to put up with your crap anymore. That's all.
What's that supposed to mean?
Exactly what it sounds like. From now on, whenever you do something that pisses me off, I plan on telling it like it is. I'm done being your obedient little slave girl.
I am your mother-in-law, young lady. You think you can defy me?
It dawned on me that there's absolutely no reason I have to put up with the vitriolic bullying of my mentally deranged mother-in-law. So I won't be doing it anymore. Simple, right? Oh yeah, I learned something else interesting too. The reason you're cleaning Mildred's house so obediently is because she sends you money to get by on every month, isn't it? You wouldn't even be able to pay the gas bill without her support. Don't worry though, I don't plan on depending on you in any way, shape, or form, so there's no danger of you getting that kind of leverage over me.
Leverage? Don't be ridiculous. I'm not cleaning the house because she has leverage over me. I'm cleaning the house because a mother-in-law's word is law. Do you have no notion of honor or respect, of duty? This is just how a good daughter-in-law who has her priorities in order behaves. You could learn a thing or two.
Oh, is it really? That's funny because I heard a little something that contradicts that. Apparently you never listened to a word she said before she started sending you the monthly allowance. She said you gave her nothing but attitude and disrespect before things got financial between you.
Look, Anya, can we just forget this conversation already? I can't take being stuck in this house any longer. I'm serious. Please, will you tell Mildred I'd like to go home now? I've had a long, hard think about my behavior, and I'm very, very sorry. I feel awful.
Oh, you're sorry, are you? That's funny because you still don't seem to understand how what you did to me was wrong.
Ugh, how many times do I have to say it? The only reason I didn't invite you to family gatherings is because I thought you wouldn't be interested in coming to a get-together full of crusty old housewives. I thought you'd be bored out of your skull, so I did what I thought was best for your sake.
Let's say, for the sake of argument, that I really wasn't interested. Why did you have to go around bad-mouthing me and spreading hurtful lies about me to the whole family? I never said I didn't want to be involved in family get-togethers, not even once. What right do you have to go spreading hateful rumors about me based on misguided assumptions? None.
I said that because I figured you not being around would make more sense to everyone that way.
You made that judgment completely arbitrarily and without my consent. From where I'm standing, it just looks like you were spreading hateful rumors about me, got found out, and now you're panicking to justify what you did after the fact.
Fine, I'll apologize. I'm sorry I was mean to you. Happy now? Let it go already.
Nuh-uh, no chance. I won't be doing that. In fact, far from forgiving you, I plan on having nothing more to do with you for as long as I live.
Fine by me. I'll be perfectly fine without the likes of you in my life.
It's not just me. Terrence never wants to see you again either. Then there's Mildred, Uncle Graham and his wife, your dad, Aunt Fiona, and all 3 of your nephews, and your niece Angie and her little girl. Wow, when you list them like that, it didn't dawn on me before, but virtually your whole family is done with you. Apparently Mildred's considered cutting off your monthly allowance, too.
What did you just say? Why would everyone else get involved in this?
They all apologized to me. They got the wrong idea about me because they fell for your lies, hook, line, and sinker. They felt awful when they realized they'd been fooled. And they were both angry and disgusted with you in equal measure when they realized you'd been lying to them this whole time to isolate me from the family.
Anya, please just wait a moment. I can't afford to have my money cut off. We were all getting along fine until now. Cutting off my allowance is going too far.
You lied to your entire family, Bessie. What did you expect?
Not this, that's for sure. Why is this happening now? Things were going so smoothly. What the hell did you do?
I didn't do anything. This is all happening because you made me arrange your vacation. I had to call the whole family one by one to get their details for the bookings. Me and Mildred hit it off when I called her. We ended up discussing a few things. She thought it was strange that I was suddenly being invited on a huge family vacation after literally never going to a single family event since marrying Terrence.
Well, what am I supposed to do now?
Seems like you don't have much choice. I think your safest bet is to carry on obeying Mildred's commands and clean her house like a good little maidservant.
Anya, please, don't be like this. I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart for how I treated you. Please, will you find it in your heart to forgive me? I promise to never do anything mean to you again. I won't ostracize you from the family anymore either. You can come to every get-together from now on. In fact, we'd be delighted to have you with us.
You won't ostracize me from the family again? I think the word you're looking for is can't. I might have been able to endure your bullshit for a long time thanks to the support of my husband, but that doesn't mean it didn't hurt me. There's only so much a person can take. Everyone has their limit, and you pushed me past mine. There was a time when I was committed to working hard to earn your approval, when I thought that if I just kept working hard and tried my best to show you how serious I was about winning your acceptance, you'd see it and let me be a part of the family one day. But I finally realized what an enormous waste of time and energy that was. No more. I am so done with you.
No, please, you can't be done with me. Anya, please don't be like this. I'm sorry. Will you find it in your heart to give me another chance? Just one more chance is all I need to prove I can change. Do you have any idea how hard my life will be without my monthly allowance? Not to mention not being able to go to family gatherings anymore. I love putting on my best dresses and getting dolled up to see the gang. I don't even want to imagine life as an outsider. No!
Sorry, Bessie, gotta run. I have a flight to catch later. See to it that Mildred's house is spotless from top to bottom by the time we get back from our vacation, okay?
But this place is enormous. It's practically a mansion. She normally has a team of cleaners take care of the place, for crying out loud. How am I supposed to clean a place this big all on my own? This is ridiculous, and you know it. You may as well be asking me to make pigs fly.
Not my problem, Bessie. Just see to it that it gets done. You said you wanted a chance to earn Mildred's forgiveness, right? Well, this is what you've been waiting for. Do as you're told and stop complaining. Oh, would you look at that? Our meals are here. I went for the lobster, and it looks delish. Catch you later.
No, wait, a peasant like you? Eating lobster? Good God. Gah, never mind that. Just give me more time. I'll never be able to clean the whole house before you get back from vacation.
Time? I think it's time you knew your place, Bessie. Your mother-in-law will be sorely disappointed in you if her house isn't spotless by the time she gets back. Chop, chop, pick up that mop. When we got back from our vacation, which was an absolute blast, by the way, we went to Mildred's house to find Bessie passed out asleep on the sofa, surrounded by empty cigarette packs and wine bottles, with the cleaning of the house not even close to being finished. Mildred flipped a switch and gave Bessie the dressing down of her life right before my very eyes. She decided it was best her wayward daughter-in-law live with her for a while so she could instill some much-needed discipline in her. It's hard for me to forgive her when I remember how she treated me. But since she got disowned from her family once they found out about everything, I'm satisfied with how things came to a close. It just goes to show that what goes around really does come around, huh? Be nice to people, folks. Maybe I'm too soft, but I don't think it'd be a huge deal if she was allowed to show her face at family events from time to time. There's no way she'd ever try anything with me again, given that she knows now that her entire family would have my back if she did. Bessie is on thin ice, and she knows it. I was super nervous about meeting everyone before because of Bessie's scheming, but now they're all super kind and welcoming towards me, and I truly feel like a part of the family. I feel like this could be the start of something beautiful. Here's to a happy future full of joy, laughs, and smiles for us all.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
James, how had Mom been doing?
I think she's been doing the same as always. And actually, I've been at her house since last week. For the past few days, nothing with her has really changed all too much.
I see, but recently Mom hasn't been answering her phone at all. I'm a little bit worried about her.
Thankfully, I'm living close to her house, so I can be here anytime to check up on her if need be.
That's right. This time when she broke her bone, I was shocked. It was hard on me because I'm too far away from her right now to just get up and go see her, so I'm happy that you and your wife are close enough to get there in time. Thank you, James.
You're really that thankful of me?
I am. Having you and your wife over there has helped me relax quite a bit.
Well, if that's the case, I'd really like you to show me your thanks in a more physical way.
James, have you forgotten just how many times my husband has taken care of you? I feel like all he's done for you could make all of this even.
I'm sorry about that. I was just joking.
I hope so. But back to Mom. I'm glad to see that she's gotten well enough now where she can get back up and walk small distances again. At her age, most people that suffer an injury like that usually end up in the wheelchair for good.
Well, you have a point.
I guess I still am a little bit worried about how Mom's been doing. I think I'll go back to her house for a little while. I know that you can't be there all the time, right? You have work yourself.
I'm fine. I'm sure it would be too difficult for you to come over to Mom's house and take care of her by yourself, right? And when it comes to Dad, he's too old and fragile now to help support her.
I guess he's not in the state to be of any help either, huh? He's already told us before that he's pretty close to needing to be put in a home.
So I really don't think you should be coming over to their house when you need someone like me to help out still. To be honest though, Dad's not wrong by thinking that a home would be better for them. They have the money to afford such a place. Do you think it would be such a bad thing to have those two put in a retirement home?
No, I think that would be all right for them. Actually, having them in a home like that would make me feel a bit more comfortable about me not being around them all the time. There will be all the nurses and pros there as well to help them instead of two amateurs like us. But when it comes to my father-in-law, he doesn't seem to think retirement homes are all that great, and that he'd much rather be in his own house.
Huh? He's just being hard-headed, that guy. I'm sure having to deal with your in-laws is a pain for you, right?
They are pains to deal with, but they are old enough now where I only have a few more years to take care of them, and so I want to make them as happy as possible. But anyway, back to Mom and her condition. I'm just worried.
Mom has told me plenty of times now that she's well enough to pick up things herself again and walk around slowly. And actually, my wife and I have been thinking about moving back in with Mom and Dad.
What? You and your wife? Is Kay really all right with something like that?
Well, it's not like Kay has anything against Mom and Dad. And she's already told me she wouldn't mind being in their house, just as long as there's still some privacy.
Is that right? I always thought of her as being the type of person that would never want to live with her parents, or ours.
I was thinking the same thing about her, but I guess we were both wrong.
Well, I guess by having you and Kay living with Mom and Dad, it would make everyone in the family feel a whole lot better.
Right? Even Mom is really looking forward to it moving in.
But is this really going to be all right for all of you? I think it really takes a lot of time to get used to living back with your parents again, especially for someone like Kay. I'm sure you'll be able to get used to that life fairly quickly, but with Kay, I'm not sure she'll really like it all that much.
If she really does start to think that she's not liking it, we'll move out. But to start, we're both going to give it a try at least. I at least would like to be living in Mom and Dad's house again, up until her legs are all good again. It will be the best thing for those two.
I guess if you're willing to move out when things get too difficult, that's not too bad. If all of you are okay with doing something like that, then I have no complaints about it. And I'm very thankful for you both stepping in to do something like that.
Well, we both happen to be all right moving back in with him, so leave all of this to us. As for yourself, good luck taking care of your father-in-law.
Thank you, James. You were always a bit of a screw-up in the past, but I guess you've changed a lot since then. Everyone was a bit worried about how you'd turn out as you became an adult. Always thinking about how you were going to manage yourself and if you'd ever find yourself a wife or not.
I think you're beginning to talk too much now.
I'm sorry.
But I do have both Kay and Mom to thank for the way things turned out for me.
As long as you keep being thankful to them for that, then you'll be fine. Well then, with Mom, please and thank you. And tell Kay I say thanks as well.
Ari, do you have time to talk?
What's going on, James?
Well, this is about living in the house with Mom. I think Kay and I will be moving out of here by next month.
What? By next month? Did something happen between you guys and her?
Well, it's not that living here together with her and Dad has been bad for us, but rather Mom is saying she would like to enter a retirement home.
Really? But hasn't her leg healed by now?
Well, she's not wanting to go into one for support, but rather to be there for all the nice foods they serve and to have people her age to talk to. That's why she's willing to pay a little extra to go into a nicer residence.
Is that right? But why so sudden?
She's been talking about how the house is getting old and that there are too many steps in it. And then at one of the recent meetings she went to, she heard about this new home that's been built, which is more like a resort than anything else. So she'd like to move in there and be supported by people her age while having fun. So I wanted to let you know that this is what she's wanted to do.
I suppose that house of hers is really old and there are more steps in it than most homes have. It probably is better that she goes into a proper retirement home before things become too difficult for her.
I think it's better that way.
Well, I'm just happy for the past month you and Kay have been there with her and Dad. You both at least got to see what it was like to live with her and be there as her support full time. It's not like there were any problems living in the same house as her and Dad, right?
Yeah, both Mom and Kay especially seem to get along pretty well together under the same roof. Of course, I'm sure Kay has been a little nervous about some things.
Well, as long as it wasn't too stressful for you both, then it wasn't time wasted. And if you both really hated living in that place together with Mom and Dad, then I'm sure you both could have just moved out at any time and leave them be, right?
Well, I guess so.
I'm totally okay with her moving into a retirement home then. She wants to live there after all, it seems. And she'll have people her age to talk with again and support from the staff.
All right, I'm going to get started on the paperwork then.
Thank you for doing that, James. Is there anything you need me to do?
Actually, about the rent, Mom and Dad have the money for the home, but it's way too expensive for those two to live there long term. How much those two have currently, they may only last a year.
That's a good point. How much are you going to need?
$1,000 to start per month would help. I'm sure if she wanted to go to an older location, it would be a whole lot cheaper, but this place is brand new and offers a lot more.
$1,000, huh? I guess I'll send it over. This can make up for all the time I haven't been there to help out. All right, I'll send $1,000 per month.
Is that all right?
Well, you and Kay have been doing a lot more of the harder work there, right? So please, let me pay that amount.
Sure. Well, I'm sorry to have had to ask that, but thank you.
No worries. I'm thankful that you and Kay tried living with and supporting Mom and Dad for a bit. Anyway, once you have the breakdown of the costs and things like that, send it to me.
How has your husband's dad been doing?
Well, actually, I'm not sure he'll be around too much longer. The doctors even said he's getting close.
I see. Well, good luck with things over there.
Thank you. My husband will be home soon, so I have to get dinner going. As for you, please take good care of Mom this last month with her. James, I would like to talk with Mom.
Then go right ahead.
But she doesn't seem to be answering any of the calls.
Well, she never really looks at her phone, does she?
Hey, can you tell me the number for the retirement home she's living at? I would like to call them and ask if they can hand the phone to her.
I think I told you their number before, right?
And after giving that number a call a few times, I wasn't able to get anyone to answer. I think you made a mistake with that number.
I don't think so.
I really am not able to get a hold of anyone on the other end. And after looking up the name of the place, it didn't come up anywhere online. Are Mom and Dad really in a retirement home right now?
What are you saying? You know they both are. They are still in a new location, so perhaps they don't have a homepage or anything like that yet.
Then would you be able to head over to that place for me? Then I can give you a call and you can hand the phone off to Mom. You told me the location is close to Mom and Dad's house, right?
Well, look, I'm at work right now. Can I do that for you after?
Then when you're out of work, you head right over to that retirement home for me.
That's if I'm able to get out of work early today.
Mom is doing all right, right?
She is.
When was the last time you met with her and Dad?
I can't remember. Maybe last month? Mom seemed to be having a blast at that place. She told me she didn't have any problems with the place and was treated kindly by everyone.
Are you sure?
Why are you getting so worked up right now? You're being a bit rude.
Well, I haven't been able to get in touch with Mom for the past month now.
And that's because you've been busy with your husband's father's funeral, right? Mom is not some child, all right? So just let her be happy where she's living. You were getting too worried about nothing right now.
Next week, I'm going to be coming back to town.
What?
Well, I'm not having to look after my father-in-law anymore. And I'd really like to see how Mom and Dad are doing in person.
I told you everything is fine here. You're going to have to come by airplane, right? You were just here 3 months ago, and you want to fly back again? What a waste of money.
My husband said it would be fine, and since I'm no longer bound down by his father, he said I can go back to my hometown for a bit and see you all.
But coming back home now of all times?
What do you mean by that?
I don't want you coming back to Mom and Dad's house. This is my house now, and Kay is telling me that if you come back here for a while, she'd have to deal with you.
I don't have to come back to that house. I'm only there to see Mom and Dad, really, so I can get a hotel. So don't worry about me being back in town.
We are taking good care of both Mom and Dad.
And I want to see that for myself. Also, I just want to see Mom again.
All right, you'll be coming next week, right?
Yes.
Understood. I'll let Mom know that and try to get her to call you back. All right. This is about Mom. She's told me that she doesn't want you coming back to town next week.
Why doesn't she want me coming?
She's told me that at the retirement home she's in, there's a bad case of the flu going around and she doesn't want you to get it. And actually, the staff there have asked for visitors to stay away for the time being because of it.
Well, then maybe we should be getting Mom out of there for a little while. She's able to leave that place to go out whenever she wants, right?
No, Mom isn't doing too well herself. That's why she really doesn't want you to come back to town right now.
I've had enough of this, James. I'm going to stop sending that $1,000 every month.
Huh? Why would you do that? That's the money paying for Mom and Dad to be in that home, right? Do you plan to get both of them kicked out of there?
Retirement home? Mom is living in a park right now with Dad.
What are you talking about? Why would her and Dad be living in a park?
Because you kicked those two out of their own house. The last time I had been texting you about what was going on here, I was already on my way home.
What?
I got a call from my friend saying she saw Mom and Dad both living in a park together downtown. After that, I told my husband and took off to come home. And that's why you've started to text me right now about how she doesn't want me coming home. You don't want me finding out what's happened to the both of them. Nice try lying to me about how there was a flu outbreak at their retirement home.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
I've already found out this much about your lie, and you're still going to try and hide? I am with Mom right now as we speak. She has been telling me all about how you and Kay kicked her and Dad out of the house. And yet for the past few months, I've been sending you $1,000. What's all that about? I was sending you that money for Mom and Dad, yet you've been using it on yourself? I am going to make you pay for all this BS, James.
Such a pain in the butt. Whatever, I don't need your $1,000. I already have this old house now, so I'll just sell it and take the money from that. You were finally able to free yourself from your husband's old man, and now you've had to find out about this? Well, good luck taking care of Mom and Dad for me, please. Kay and I don't have it in us to care for the elderly. So, there you go.
James, you are such a bastard. Don't tell me this is all about you getting into debt again.
This has nothing to do with you.
I think it frickin' does, James. Did you forget about how we had to help you pay off your debts the last time you got into trouble? My husband sent you $10,000. And after giving you that much, you promised us you'd never be in debt again like that.
Shut the hell up, Ari. I forget about the past all the time.
You haven't changed at all then, have you? I can't believe I thought you had gotten better and were no longer a screw-up. I am such an idiot. I'm going to get that house back from you.
Huh? I'm not sure it'll be allowed back in this house now. Now let's be honest. This place is old, so it'll only sell for a couple thousand at best.
And I don't want you getting any of that money because you don't deserve it. Also, that house is under Mom's name anyway.
But Mom's signature is too easy to forge.
You'd really do that?
I would.
Bet.
Huh?
I don't think you'd ever be able to do that and get away with it.
Why do you think that?
Well, let's just say I've always been aware of what might happen to you after your first time with trouble. And during the time you'd been away from Mom and Dad, I had always been talking to her about what might happen when you got into borrowing money again. So after a few discussions, Mom made a very smart decision and changed the name on that house to mine.
What the hell did you think you guys were doing? You come over here right now and sign these forms for me.
You think I'm going to listen to you? I'm not going to let you have that house.
Well, then I'll sign these documents under your name anyway. I'm sure nobody will care if they forged, right? Even Kay is telling me that nobody is going to believe you if you try disputing it, because I've been the one living here.
You are both the worst. Good luck trying that, because I'm already 2 steps ahead of you. You're not getting any money from us. Not Mom, not Dad, not myself.
Ari, you are more of an idiot than I thought. No matter how hard you try to dispute what I'm doing, I'm the oldest sibling, and I've been the one living in this house for a month now, so I have the right to this place. I saw this sort of stuff in the drama recently. Even if you do manage to get this house for me, I still have an ace in the hole, and that's my inheritance.
Really? Then I'll have Mom and Dad take you out of their will, so forget about that.
Huh?
You think that just because you're their son, you'll automatically get their money when they pass? That's not how it works. If the person who passes away happens to write a will before their death, then that will is legally followed by a lawyer and nothing can be done about it. So after all the things you've done to the both of them, they have said they will be taking your name out of their wills for good. Mom said that she's already been working on it, right after the moment you kicked her out of the house with Dad. You aren't getting a single thing from either one of them, James, so it's game over.
Are you sure?
Look it up. I'm sure that Kay is already freaking out about this and looking it up as we speak.
Ari, I wasn't trying to be mean to Mom and Dad when I kicked them out of the house.
Of course not. You just wanted money, right? Well, it's pretty frickin' insane to think that you'd kick both Mom and Dad out of their own house just for more money.
I was in huge trouble at the time. I had already been fired from my job and, well, there was so much money I owed.
So you really did get yourself into some major debt again.
I tried asking Mom to help me out, but she told me there was no second chances. And when she told me that, I freaked.
What you've done this time is not going to be forgiven by any of us. I was so worried about Mom's injury healing up fine, and a month later she's out in a park living with Dad? I cannot believe this, James. Are you even family to us? After talking to Mom about this, she told me that she never texted or called me because she didn't want to bother me. She said that her and Dad just needed to endure.
I'll apologize to Mom and Dad for this, and of course I'll apologize to you too. So please, don't have Mom and Dad take me out of their wills. I'm sure after selling this house, I can make things work out for myself.
You are not getting any money from any of us, and that includes from selling that house, which isn't even yours. We are finished being your family, jerk.
Ari, please. I made some mistakes. I promise that after this time, I'll never owe money again. I'll make sure to put more effort into working. Give me just one more chance, please? Please.
You had your last chance and you wasted it. Now you're going to have to face reality.
Right now, Kay and I are in a terrible situation. If we can't get any more money from you, we can't live in this house anymore, what's going to happen to us? Right now, the loan sharks are waiting for the money.
And who cares? I don't give a frick about what's happened to you two. Mom, Dad, and myself are done with you, and we hope those loan sharks make an example of you both now. And when it comes to a place to live, you have places all around you. You had Mom and Dad go live in a park for a while now, so why not give that a try, huh? I think you both need to go find yourself a nice tree to sleep under out here, and then you won't have to pay for any housing. After that, both my parents took James right out of their wills, and then the 3 of us went back to my mom and dad's house and kicked him and his wife out. Of course, the 3 of us couldn't do it alone, but with the help of some friends in the neighborhood, we got rid of them. After doing that, we had a lot of the furniture within the house sold, as well as the house itself. James and Kay had tried coming to us asking for forgiveness, begging for it. But after having kicked my mom and dad out of their own house, after getting into debt once again, there was no way in hell we'd forgive them. The rest of the family wants to make sure those 2 pay for what they did to mom and dad by having them get a taste of their own medicine. After saying goodbye to them for good, we all blocked their phone numbers, and since then, don't really know what's happened to them. But whether they are able to find a way to pay off those loans or not, I'm sure they'll end up living one of the worst lives possible together. As for my mom and dad, they both moved out to where my husband and I have been living and moved into a retirement home near us. Now, being closer to the both of them, I'll be able to come to their aid immediately if need be. But, of course, they are both actually in a home now, so I'm sure the staff and such will be there to care for them, even better than I'd be able to. However, I'm going to be going there a lot still to check up on them, as I don't ever want what happened to them before to happen ever again. I want for both my mom and dad to enjoy the last years of their life in peace, surrounded by those who love them, and that's why I will always be in arm's reach, ready to support them.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Noah, you are on lunch break now, right? Well, I just wanted to let you know that I've told both my parents and your parents about how I'm pregnant now.
You did say that you'd be talking with them about it soon, right?
That's right, so I've gone ahead and done just that. I was a little nervous at first, but I had to make sure to say it now or else it would never happen.
So, how was it? How did everyone react?
Everybody is really excited to see the baby, especially your parents. Both your mom and your dad were jumping with joy when I started telling them about it. They were screaming that they'd finally have a grandchild at the top of their lungs.
I suppose so. They never really told you about it, but for a long time now, those two really wanted to have a grandchild.
Well, I can see that now.
I'm their only child after all, so it was up to me and only me to grant them a grandchild. I think those two have been praying for this day for years now, and those prayers were finally answered today.
I see. Well, I'm so happy to see that they're both that happy. They started to talk with me about how they need to get working on buying clothes and such for our baby now.
I think it's a little bit early for them to be doing that, right? We still have months to go before the baby is born, so they need to settle down a little.
They're just that excited about the baby. My parents are about the same as yours right now as well. They want to give us all sorts of presents for our baby. Both our parents are just too happy to calm down now.
Are they going to be giving you money?
I'm not sure about that, but probably money.
If it's going to be money that they give you, I wonder how much.
I have no clue about that either. Maybe $1,000 or $2? When my cousin became pregnant, that's how much money they gave to her as a gift. So it'll be about that amount this time as well if they decide to give me money.
They're giving us that much? I guess I should have expected that from your family. Your family has always had a bit more money than most other families here.
I'm not so sure about that, Noah. They just happen to want to celebrate this moment because it's special to them, so they'll give a little bit more money for it. And that's if they decide to give money this time.
Well, then the both of your parents must be really excited for us then.
I think so. If they do end up giving us that much for the baby, I'll be really happy. I'll just have to make sure to give birth to a happy and healthy baby in return for the presents.
By the way, Kat, what are you going to do about work? I don't think you'll be able to work all the time if you have a baby. So you're going to have to make a choice here soon so that you can let your boss know.
That's a good point. What should I do? Really, I don't want to have to quit my job or anything like that. I happen to love having a job to go to, and the job I'm working now is great. I love it.
But whether you like it or not, after giving birth, you're not going to be able to work, right?
Well, that's true.
And what about daycare? Do you plan to have the baby go to daycare or something?
I'm not sure. But right after having the baby, I'm not sure we can send them right to daycare or anything. I guess we'll just have to look into something later on.
Kids are always getting sick when they're that small. I'm sure leaving them at a daycare will be hard for them, right? They're around all these other kids that can get them sick with something.
Well, I guess. But I was thinking we'd just have to deal with something like that if our child was to get sick.
You say that, but I'm not always going to be able to leave work all the time to care for a sick child. And I can't be home from work right away, even if I can leave early. You understand that I'm still going to be busy with work then, right?
I know that. But even with work, you'll still have to be around for our kid at times, right? And that might just mean taking work off to be home with them and help out with the chores. Remember that when it comes to things like doing the chores and caring for the kid, we have to split the workload.
No, I think that might be too difficult for me. To be honest, even now I don't have a lot of time to be helping out. I think you should just give up on that job entirely and focus on being a housewife for the rest of your life. Then you could focus on our kid and take care of the house full time.
So you really think it's a good idea for me to be home all the time?
I have no reason to be taking time off my job or quitting, right? You're already going to be taking time off work to have the baby, right? So why not just quit your job there? You were far better than me at doing chores and cooking. So it's better that you manage them full time as opposed to me trying to help out.
It's not as easy as you think. The job I'm at right now happens to be something I really enjoy doing.
But your child is going to be a lot more important than work, right? If you keep working, you won't be able to put enough effort into the house and kid.
I know that.
I think it's a better option having you at the house all day to raise the kid and do chores instead of us both working. Becoming a housewife would also make me a whole lot more comfortable as well.
I suppose it would be best if I just quit my job entirely.
And maybe in a few years after being around the kid and caring for the house, you can look for a new job or something. So for the time being, just leave your job and put your family first. I'd feel real bad for our kid if you care more about your work than the child himself.
I'd feel bad as well. All right, I'll quit my job. Someone has to be home to do a lot of the chores, I guess. Having a child will only make the chores list grow, so I think it'd be good to be home full-time.
That's right. And after a while, our kid will grow up and be able to help you out as well. You just have to be around them at home all the time for a few years. This would be the time when our child is the most cute. So be home for them, all right?
Good point. Well, I guess I'll leave my job soon then and head back to my parents' house to have the baby.
Oh, that's a great idea. I feel a lot more comfortable with you doing that. And then you'll have your mom around to care for you. I'm sure she'll even be able to help you with having the baby and caring for it right after.
But is that really okay? Me leaving the house for a while?
I'll be totally fine here. If anything, having you at your parents' house will help me a ton. I'll probably be very busy come the time the baby's due, so it's better you have your parents around you for that time as well. I'll go ask them to be your support for a while.
I guess this is my first time having a baby, and it would be so nice to have my mom's support. Then I guess I will go ahead and ask them if it's all right for me to come home, and I'll start talking with my work about quitting. I just got back to the house from my mom and dad's. It feels so wonderful to be back at our house again, and I can relax a bit now.
Welcome home, Kat.
I'm actually quite surprised at how well the house is looking right now. I assumed you wouldn't have stayed on task cleaning the place all the time and that I'd have some chores to get done here. But no, the place is spotless.
Well, I've been busy, so I've only really been in the house to sleep. I never had time to be around the house making much of a mess.
Is that right? Now that you mention it, you're still not home yet, are you?
I'm going to be late coming home tonight, so you can head to bed before me.
I see. I guess you really are busy then.
I think so. Have you been able to move all your things back into the house? I'm sure there were a lot of clothes and such, right?
My dad came along with me and helped put my things inside the house. Thank goodness for that, because a lot of these bags are heavy.
Your dad came along with you as well? Did he head back to his house now?
We don't have any air mattresses here or an extra bed, so I'm having him stay at a hotel nearby. He told me that he'll head back home tomorrow, but before that, he'll stop over here one more time. He wants to see us again before heading home.
I see. I'm going to have to head into work early tomorrow, so I probably won't be able to see him.
Really?
And tomorrow morning, I have to work on some assignments here and make up some documents. Just let your dad know I said hi, all right?
You really are busy with work. Having to go into work early again tomorrow when you're already having to stay late the night before? Take care of yourself, all right?
Actually, I'm not working right now.
What? You're not at work right now? Then what are you up to?
I'm at one of my friends' birthday party. They happen to have loads of money and this house is spectacular. Actually, I'm on the top floor of this apartment building in their penthouse.
Wait, so you're not working? I'm all right with you not being at home for work-related things, but you're just at a party?
Well, this is kind of like work to me. A lot of the people here at this party happen to work in the same company as me. So it's kind of like I'm here to make myself look better to them, to get even closer to them.
But that doesn't have to do with you getting paid, right? You knew that today the baby and I would be coming back to the house, so I really would have liked it that you were home to see us.
Don't say such BS, all right? I don't need to be home for you right now. You had your dad bring you home and help you get your things into the house, right?
I get that, but today is the first time you're able to see your baby's face in person. You had chances before to come out to my parents' house, but every time I asked, you said you were busy. So please leave that party and come home to see your baby and I.
I'm going to be seeing you both every day from now on, so quit it. I've already seen loads of pictures of you two as well, so I still know what both of you look like. You're being selfish with my time.
I'm the one being selfish? With your time? I feel like you're the only one being selfish here. Do you even care that you're a father now?
Why are you acting like this right after getting home? It's annoying.
Huh? Did you just say it's annoying?
I have a lot of stress from work, alright? So why am I not allowed to go out and spend some time with friends burning the stress off? Compared to me, you and your jobless butt have nothing to be stressed about.
I have a lot to be stressed about. Compared to what you think, raising a child is hard.
But you've been out of work for months now, right? All you have to do is play with the baby. That's it. Simple. And for the past 6 months, your parents have been doing your chores and everything. It must be so relaxing to have not been doing anything for half a year.
It has not been relaxing. Also, do not say things like I'm jobless, all right? You were the one that said I should quit my job because I'd have a lot to focus on with the baby and this house.
I was just giving you an option. You were the one that chose to quit your job. You gave up on the career you had, right?
Excuse me? What the heck, Noah? You and I had a talk about whether or not I should quit my job, and you said it'd be better that I was a housewife, right? What you're saying now about me is completely different.
And that was just me giving you an option was all. You were the one that made the final call, and not me.
What do you mean by that? Why are you starting to talk to me like that all of a sudden? Hey, are you out messing around again? Hurry up and come home already.
I'm out drinking right now for work, so I'm not coming home yet.
You keep doing this every single day, Noah. What the hell is going on with you? You still have a small baby at home that you need to help care for.
What do you mean a small baby?
We cannot leave our baby by themselves, right? So if you're going to make me be the one in charge of them, then you come home and help do chores or something.
Why do I have to come home to do chores? That's all your job, right? Why else would you be a housewife besides to get the chores done?
Even if I'm home all day as the housewife, that doesn't mean I can do everything here on my own. Out of all my friends, you are the only husband I know that does not come home to help with the baby and doing some chores. You haven't helped me even once these past 4 months. Just be home a little bit to help me with something.
Those are all your friends' households, not ours.
What are you trying to say? Right now is the most important time for you to be a father and be here to help your wife out.
And that's just what you think, so stop trying to make me believe in whatever baseless crap you think.
This isn't just something that I think, though. Also, you should be more caring for your family than all your friends. You are not single anymore, and you have a wife and kid at home that you need to be responsible for now. You can't just keep going out when you have free time to play with your friends. I cannot believe that even now you're going out to get drunk and aren't coming home until 2 or 3 in the morning.
Look, Kat, I'm not sure how many times I've told you now, but I'm playing around out here in order to move up in the company. So all of this fun I'm having is for work. So that means no matter what I'm doing is part of my job.
I know you always like to say that things are part of work as an excuse, but to me, I don't see anything about you going out to drink all the time as important for your job. Do you even remember what happened the other day? That morning 2 days ago?
2 days ago? What happened?
Of course you wouldn't remember. You came into the house early that morning all drunk. And you went up to our baby, waking them up with all the noise you were making, and they began to cry. And it took me hours to get them back to sleep.
I don't remember any of that.
That's because you were completely hammered. You're telling me drinking that much is part of your job? Don't you ever drink that much again, okay? If you keep acting like that, one day the police will come and arrest you.
Yeah, right. I was just tired at the time, so the alcohol got to me more than usual. I didn't drink that much then.
Liar. If you hadn't been drinking that much then, why did you smell like the sink at a bar?
You're really starting to drive me up the wall. You stop it with all that bickering right now. A jobless woman like you has no right talking to your husband like that.
Jobless woman? Now why would you say something like that? The only reason I'm jobless right now is because you keep saying you're too busy drinking. I mean, working.
That's right. I don't care to do the chores or care for our baby. And that's why I'm having you stay home to do all that. So you shut up and do as you're told.
So you don't give a crap about anything going on in this house? In this family?
I told you I can't be bothered with anything there. You're being a real witch right now. And by the way, that brat's crying is a total turnoff for me. So dang annoying. Shut it the hell up. That's your job as its mother.
If you'd like me to do my job as a mother, then why don't you start by doing your job as a father first? Calling your own baby a brat for crying? What the hell? If you keep acting the way you have been, you are no longer going to have the right to call yourself a father or husband. And don't you ever call me jobless again when you're never home to do a dang thing.
Are you freaking kidding me? What do you mean I won't be calling myself a father or husband? I have been working every single day making sure there is enough money for both you and the brat. Do you not care about me doing my part as your husband? I think you're the one talking. You shouldn't be able to call yourself my wife for not realizing that I'm the pillar of this family.
Well, if you'd like me to care about what you're doing, then become someone I'd want to care about. I am thankful that you work full-time for us, but from what I've seen out of you recently, that's all you're good at.
Who do you think you are? If you talk to me like you're better than me again, I'm going to leave you.
Divorce?
Yeah, I'm going to toss both you and the brat out of my house. Without me around, you won't be able to carry on, right? You'll be the one in huge trouble then, so shut up and do your job.
Blaming me like that after you told me to quit my job? You're a dick.
What are you doing right now? I have been trying to get a hold of you all day. Hey, answer the phone. Where the hell have you gone when you don't have a job and have all these chores to be doing? Lost cause.
Calling me a lost cause now? Well, maybe that's due to you never helping me.
Huh? How have I never been helping you? Who do you think has been the one working all the time to make money for you?
As a father, you have more responsibilities than just making money. Anybody can work a job and make some money. I think that after returning myself to work, I won't have any use for you as my husband anymore.
What did you say? Yeah, you were really trying to push it today, huh? If you want to play games like that, then it's time for a divorce. Is that what you want?
Again with that?
You want to be stuck on the streets with that brat in your arms? Is that the life you want? This is the one and only time I'll let you apologize to me for what you just said. I'm being serious right now. So if you don't apologize now, who knows what'll happen to you?
We're already divorced, Noah. And that's why I don't care what you have to say to me anymore. And that's why I won't need to be relying on you for anything anymore.
Huh? We're already divorced. What are you talking about now? Have you lost your mind or something?
I've already handed in all the divorce papers and everything, so you and I are completely divorced. Legally, you and I are just strangers now.
What are you going on about? When it comes to divorce papers, the both of us have to sign them together.
That's right.
And I never signed any divorce papers.
You have, though, and that's why I was able to hand them in.
Did you go and forge my signature or something?
I would never do something illegal like that. Have you forgotten what you've done again?
Huh? What have I forgotten?
You signed those divorce papers that I turned into the courthouse. You forgot about that?
I haven't forgot anything because that never even happened. You stop it with all these blatant lies right now.
Now that I think about it, during that time you were drunk off your butt again. Perhaps you were so drunk then that you once again lost all your memory of what happened? Well, I guess that's what's always been happening with you.
I was drunk. When was this?
On Thursday night, I handed you those divorce papers, right? And you told me you wanted the divorce yourself before signing them and handing them back to me.
You liar. I don't remember any of that. Stop trying to say all this crap to me like I'd actually do something like that.
I have a witness, though. Your parents.
What? My parents were there? What the heck?
At that time, I was on the phone with your mom and dad explaining to them that we were getting a divorce. I told them about how you wanted me to quit my job, and only months after that, you started to treat me horribly for not working and would make me do everything from caring for the baby to doing all the chores.
What is going on? You're telling me that my parents believed all that? What the hell is all this?
They didn't have to choose to believe me or not because it's the truth. You even told them yourself that we'd be getting a divorce, saying that you didn't need a worthless wife, an annoying brat like us, and that you wanted to put us on the street. Both myself and your parents remember that moment very clearly.
I said things like that? Are you sure?
I'm sure. That's why your mom and dad ended up agreeing with me that we needed a divorce. You don't remember a single thing from that night? Even your dad told you something. He replied saying that someone like you would never turn out to be a proper husband or father.
What?
The way he said that to you made it seem like he lost all faith in you as a man. And after he said that, the four of us agreed that it was time to get the divorce. And at the time, you grabbed the pen out of my hands and signed all the papers. So there is nothing wrong with the divorce that's taken place.
I can't believe this. No way. I don't want a divorce.
What? Weren't you always the one bringing up divorce in the first place? I was just joining you in that idea by saying that we should indeed get one. And that's why in the end I handed in those signed papers.
Stop playing around. Do you actually think you can raise a kid all by yourself? Especially when you're jobless?
All I have to do is go back to the company I was working for. I already told them that I had plans of coming back.
Why would you tell them that? You were supposed to quit that job fair and square.
When I was talking with my boss about it before leaving the company, he told me I was welcome back anytime. And, well, I plan to use a daycare most of the time now. And when I can't do that, I always have my parents around to babysit. Really, I didn't want to get my parents involved in caring for the baby, but both my mom and dad told me they wanted to help out, so I accepted their help.
Did you plan for all this to happen? You had to have. I'm starting to remember what happened that night. You kept on telling me to drink up, right?
I was the one telling you to keep drinking? I don't remember ever doing something like that.
You got me all drunk, all so that you can get me talking. That's why I was saying all those horrible things about you. And then you brought out the divorce papers knowing I'd sign them?
When you get drunk like that, you really tend to lose your rationality. But you were the one to get yourself that drunk and then agreed to getting the divorce, right? So please stop making me responsible for your own actions.
You were the one that forced me into a state where I'd want to divorce you, right? This is not right. We shouldn't be getting a divorce. I won't let you divorce me.
It's already happened, though. We're divorced now. You were the one that signed those papers. And you were the one always suggesting divorce to me. I just happened to give you an option that night, and you chose to sign those papers and confirm that you wanted the divorce.
What a far-fetched argument that is. You realize that if you let this happen, you and that brat are going to live the rest of your lives in poverty. But I guess you've always been that stupid, so go ahead and take the road that'll end up screwing you and that brat over.
So because I have no plans of coming back to you, you're going to start talking about me and the baby like that? I am so happy that I was able to divorce a pile of crap like you. I already knew you were no good at being a husband and a father, and now I'm starting to think you're just a terrible person in general. The fact that you'd say things like that to your baby and wife is why you've been divorced. Well, I hope that since you have no plans of ever caring about a family, you live the rest of your life as a lonely jackass. The following day, Noah came to his parents' house looking for me, but luckily for myself, my dad came and picked me up. And as he tried to make a break towards my house, his dad stepped in and held him down before his mom closed the door and locked it. Then both his parents told him over and over again that he needed to be held responsible for his actions, and that me leaving him was the result of being such a failure. And they made sure it was clear to him that even though he was drunk, he agreed to and signed the divorce papers that night. Also, they made sure he knew that it was his idea in the first place to talk about getting a divorce, so he had no right to complain anymore. I was just being the kind wife I'd always been to him, and did the one thing that he kept threatening me with, so he needs to understand that well and clear. And knowing that he was never going to be able to take care of his wife and baby makes me feel even better about the divorce taking place. As of right now, I'm having my baby go to daycare while I'm going back to work at my old job. Being a single parent now is a bit tough, but it's far less stressful than having Noah as my husband. I think we can all agree on the fact that he was the cause of all my stress, and that instead of quitting my job, I should have just quit him from the beginning.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Gabby, I'm gonna be late getting home again today. I plan on heading to the gym after I get out of work today. So it might not be until around 11 p.m. before I'm home, okay?
Archie, are you being serious?
Yeah, I am.
But I had only just had our baby a couple days ago.
And I was helping you out all day and night at first, right?
Do you think that it's okay to not have to deal with the baby and I anymore now then?
That's not at all what I think. I just happen to have a lot going on myself now.
But even after childbirth, I'm still not 100% myself again and need some more time to rest. And without you, I can never rest, having to watch over May all day. Can you at least help me out with her a little bit more than you are right now?
I'll help you out with her when I have my hands free.
What do you mean? You and I should be working on raising her together at all times. If you have the free time to be going to the gym tonight, just skip that and come home. May is your baby as well, after all. Don't you get that?
But for some reason, she doesn't look all that much like me.
Huh? You are the worst, Archie. You have no right saying something that selfish right now.
But even my parents were saying the same thing when they saw her.
No way. I think she has the same ears as you do. Also, she happens to only be a fresh baby right now, so over time, I'm sure she'll start to look more like you. Your parents are so mean. Why would they ever bring something like that up around you? Saying that the baby looks nothing like their son. Do they not care for how we feel?
They were only saying that she looks more like you than anyone else. And they laughed about the fact that May doesn't have to look like me. So why are you getting so worked up over that?
I just happen to feel like your mom and dad were trying to slight me or something.
If anything, you've been a bit rough when it comes to the way you act. Not them. You've also been getting really upset all the time lately.
I have every right to get angry, though. I was thinking that after giving birth to our daughter, I'd be able to come home and we'd work together to care for her. But soon after that day, you've just stopped coming around the house. And when it comes to the weekends, you'll go out by yourself, leaving me all by myself here having to raise May. What is going on there?
I'm going out shopping for the things you asked for, right?
But that's all you've been doing for me. What has happened to you, Archie? You were so happy back when I had given birth to May. Have you stopped thinking that your own baby girl is cute or something?
I think that she's a cute little baby, Gabby. I just happen to have other things going on right now. That's it.
Well, I have things going on myself right now. I have to spend all day and night by myself taking care of this baby girl when I'm exhausted. And I'm doing all of this without any help from you anymore.
You act like this doesn't happen to other people. There are families where their husband has to go on business trips after his wife gives birth, leaving their wife at home to care for the baby, right?
You are such a piece of garbage. I never thought that you, of all people, would turn into this horrible of a husband. Recently, I've started to think that I might have married the wrong person. If things keep going downhill like this with you, then I'm going to start thinking about getting a divorce. I understand that you might be busy right now, but I don't care. You need to be thinking about your wife and baby as well. If you can't do that soon, then things are going to be over between us. Archie, just a second ago, Riley brought over a present for May.
My little sister came over to the house?
Yes. She told me that while she was out on a business trip, she had found this cute little bib for May to use.
I'm sure that my sister is going to spoil the heck out of May from now on, you know. She is so happy to have a little niece that she can play with.
Riley is such a nice young woman, isn't she? Far more kind than my husband.
What are you trying to say now?
Ever since giving my all to give birth to May, my life has been a living hell. You have completely stopped caring for her with me, and now you give me the cold shoulder all the time. And no matter what I say to you, you won't even bother focusing on your wife and baby. I want you home immediately after you get out of work today. I would like to talk with you about my plans for our divorce.
I see. It sounds good.
So you're not even going to get all upset about that? Does this mean that for a while now, you've wanted a divorce as well? Is that why you've been so cold and distant from May and I then?
When I get back to the house, we can talk about it.
Sure, I already knew.
About what?
About how you've been cheating on me with someone else.
Huh? You think that I've been cheating on you? I'm not with anyone else right now.
I have evidence that says otherwise, Archie. If you want, you can go ahead and start making excuses about it right now.
What kind of evidence do you even have?
I have pictures of you out with another woman hugging her.
Please don't say things like that when I've never done that. I'm not cheating on you with anyone else.
Don't lie to me. If you're really not cheating on me, then why were you out hugging another woman like that? I'm sure the reason you haven't been around the house anymore is because you're with her, right? How much longer were you going to keep all this up and keep hurting me?
I really have no memory of the last time I hugged someone that wasn't you.
Well, I have solid evidence right here, Archie. You are not going to be able to talk your way out of this one. I'm going to make sure you pay for May's child support and a settlement to me.
I have no plans of paying you anything, Gabby.
Are you kidding me right now? You are trash. You're the one at fault after going out with another chick while you're married to me. And the reason that you and I are going to be getting divorced is because of you. So I'm going to make sure you take full responsibility for all of it. You're going to be responsible for all you've done, whether you like it or not.
Riley, why are you texting me now?
Because I have to make sure that Gabby is all right. Archie, you're a total jerk for throwing your wife and baby away to be with another woman. Why the hell could you do something like that to another person? Especially when your wife is having the hardest time of her life after giving birth to May. Do you not feel any remorse for what you've done?
So she went to you and cried about what's going on? You can leave all this be, all right? Right now, we are already planning on getting a divorce.
Huh? Why are you so screwed up now? Right now, Gabby is so stressed out and cannot smile because of everything, and you're laughing about divorcing her? Why, Archie?
The only reason that Gabby looks so sad and upset right now is because she's really good at acting.
Huh? Are you kidding me? You had always been such a kind brother to everyone and someone that I'd always brag about.
And I still am just as kind as I always was.
Don't freaking lie to me! You had been so kind and treated your wife so well that I was jealous of the relationship you guys had. Why the hell would you cheat on her? She's the perfect woman for you and you're going to turn away from her? Is there someone more important to you than your own wife and daughter now?
Hold on now. You can settle down. I have not been cheating on her, all right?
I was even shown the picture Gabby has as evidence of you being with another woman. You and this other woman are hugging. There is no way you can tell me that that right there is not proof of you cheating.
That happens to be Gabby's friend.
So you're telling me now that you've been fooling around with your wife's friend? For crying out loud, that is frickin' messed up.
I told you that I haven't been doing anything with her. Are you at your house right now?
I'm not. I'm at the office right now trying to get some work done.
Well, then can you tell me where Gabby is?
She's over at my place right now. She told me that she no longer wants to be in your guys' house anymore. So I'm having her stay at my house for the time being.
Has Gabby been over your house since last night?
Yes. She told me that she couldn't stand being anywhere near you after finding out. So she came running into my house crying about how horrible you are, telling me what terrible things you said about her. Why would you be doing this to someone as special as Gabby?
I had no other choice. That's just how I feel about things now with her.
You are literally the worst husband.
You can say that about me now, but I think that it's wild that she'd go over your house after that. I had assumed she'd be running back home to her parents' house.
She told me that day she'd be going back over to your house to get her things. She was only able to bring over May's things last night. But before you get back home from work, she'll be back over at my house and staying there. And she thinks that she'll head back to her parents' house tomorrow.
I see. I'm sorry for causing you all this trouble.
I don't care about having her and May at my house. Not after what you did to them. I want you to explain yourself to me right now, though. I am really upset with you right now and want to know everything that's been going through your mind. What made you do all of this in the first place to her? To both of them?
I have seriously not been cheating on her. I promise you that.
Then what was that picture I looked at that Gabby was showing me?
I think that Gabby may have asked her friend to come up and hug me in order for her to take a picture at the exact moment and later use that picture against me. She's trying to paint me as the one cheating right now.
Huh? Why would you think something like that?
I'm thinking she's doing it so she can get both money from me and child support and an settlement.
So you're saying that she's been planning to divorce you for a while now then?
Well, I think so. For a while now, I've felt that I'm not May's actual father.
I heard about that from Gabby already. She's told me about how you're never around to help her care for May. You've been making her act like a single parent for the past month, right? I can understand why she'd want to divorce you if you're never going to come home and help with her newborn baby.
but I'm not helping her with May because that's not my daughter.
What?
Riley, I'm sorry.
What do you mean by that?
I know that you were so happy to finally have yourself a little niece, but May is not my child, and therefore she's not your niece. The real father happens to be the man that Gabby has been cheating on me with.
Archie, during your next day off, can you come to my parents' house? I'll have my lawyer here waiting to talk with you, and we can discuss what's going to happen with this divorce. And my parents would like to have a word with you as well about this. So make sure that when you're over here, you don't say anything too horrible to me. Right now, both my mom and dad are infuriated with you. One wrong move, and one of them might just snap.
Understood. I'll make sure to bring my lawyer along with me as well. I'd love to have a talk with you as well about how I've been cheating on you.
You need to learn when to give up, Archie. You still don't plan on confessing to us about how you've been in the arms of another woman? I'm going to make sure that you have no other choice but to pay me both May's child support every month and a settlement to me. I'm thinking around at least $100,000 for the settlement.
$100,000, huh? That's quite a lot of money to be asking me for. Well, I guess you had only married me in the first place for my money, so I shouldn't be all too surprised.
Huh? What did you just say to me there? You were the one that abandoned me and never took care of your daughter or I.
I can keep saying this all day if you like. I have not been cheating on you, and I never plan to.
You're going on about that again? I have concrete evidence that says otherwise, Archie. Do you still not fully grasp that?
The pictures that you have of me cheating were made up by you, right? The person in that photo happens to be your friend, right?
Huh? I don't know her. I can't even see her face in the photo.
Don't worry about that. The man I paid to go out and take pictures of me that day has all sorts of photos with her face showing. And by man, I mean detective.
What? What do you mean, detective?
Actually, for the longest time now, I've been wanting to divorce you. So I made sure to have an investigation started to make sure I was right about my intuitions. Do you know the reason why I might have had doubts about you?
I don't know. I think you just started to doubt me because you started to love that other woman.
Wrong. I started to doubt you because my gut told me that you were with another man. And when I realized that May wasn't even my child, it became pretty clear that there was someone else involved.
Wait, why are you going on about things that don't make any sense? May is your daughter, all right?
Nope, she's not. I made sure to have 2 DNA tests run on her, so I know for a fact that she's not mine.
You had DNA tests done?
Remember that even before you became pregnant with May, I was starting to doubt you and thought you might be cheating on me. There were times you told me you were home, but I'd hear from my friend at the same time that he saw you out with another man.
So you started looking into that?
Yeah, because I started to realize you were lying to me. And I noticed that your lies only began to grow more common as you became pregnant. I didn't want to believe myself, but I only became more and more nervous about you. And so, to make my anxiety go away, I asked to have a DNA test taken.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am. And I'll make sure to bring both results from those DNA tests with me when I come to your parents' house.
Why are you only starting to bring this all up now?
I was a bit stuck after seeing the results of the test and the evidence the detective was bringing me. Learning that May was not my real daughter completely shocked my whole system. I started having to think about the next steps to take and how I was to go about getting a divorce. And after taking a chance and asking one of my coworkers about what to do, they said I should calm down and think. So we ended the conversation with calling the detective back and asking them to start searching for who the real father is.
You could have at least told me all of this the first time you got those results. Why did you hide all of this from me until this exact moment?
Right before I was going to say anything, you left.
I never believed back then that you'd bring anything up to me. It was because of you that right now my life is on thin ice, and I'm having to make all kinds of hard decisions.
Don't blame me for your actions. The reason all of this is happening to you is because you chose to cheat on me and have a baby with the other man, right? And after that, you tried to make me look like I was the one cheating on you? You had your friend come up and hug me out of nowhere, all so that you could snap some quick pictures and use them to get money from me?
I've not been making that up.
Back when you took that picture of her hugging me, she told me she wanted a taxi home because she wasn't feeling too well, and she asked me to call her a taxi since I was still around her.
And? What does that have to do with us? I'm sure you took her to the hotel right after that. I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
After I had sent her on her way in a taxi, After she had run up and hugged me, I got a call. It was from the detective I hired. And he told me that the woman who hugged me and then asked me to get her a taxi was your friend. Needless to say, I was shocked hearing that. Apparently, he was following you all day and saw that you met up with her before you asked her to come and hug me. And he was then able to get photos of both you taking pictures of me being hugged and of the hugging itself. I have evidence that clearly shows I wasn't cheating on you and that you set it all up.
Is that so?
You aren't going to escape me this time. I'll make sure to teach you who the real jerk is this time. I'm also working on finding out who the man is that you've been cheating on me with, and if he's the father of May or not. I believe from what I've found so far, it's Bill, right? And he happens to be married himself?
Listen, Archie, I'm so very sorry about cheating on you, but that whole interaction I had with Bill was a one-time thing.
That was fast, but you're still not coming out with all of it. Strange. The detective is telling me that he saw you going out with him while you were already pregnant as well.
We only met to have some coffee and talk. At the time, I had assumed May was yours. I didn't think that the one time I slept with him, I would have gotten pregnant. Also, the only reason I stuck around him was because he was being rude to me about it.
It's disgusting that you still go out with someone when they were being rude to you. Are you going to tell me that no matter how rude someone is to you, you'll stay with him?
No! He happened to do a lot of things for me as well, like caring for me. And he just wanted to hang out with me some more after that night.
I'm sorry. I really hate hearing you use all these excuses with me. Honestly, I don't even know what to say to you anymore.
Just know that even though I was going out with him, you were the most important to me. That's why I married you. Believe me, all right?
What you're telling me and what you've been doing are completely different, though. Right before telling me that you wanted a divorce, you had Bill come over to the house, right?
That was just because I had some things I wanted to talk with him about. We didn't do anything else besides talk then.
You think that just because I wasn't home, you can hide what happened from me? I had a camera placed inside the house in the living room.
Huh? So then you heard what we were talking about too?
You were telling him that after you divorced me, you wanted to marry someone like him, right? Although he refused what you were asking for. So that must mean you cared more about Bill than me this whole time, right?
That's not it. I knew that you and I would end up getting a divorce, so I was only asking him then so that I wasn't alone afterwards.
Go ahead and say what you want. But while talking to Bill, you started to cry. And then you told him you never married me out of love, but because of the money I had. You told him that after you got rid of me, because I was no longer nice to you, you'd want to marry and live with him. You confessed all of that to him, and I have it recorded.
That wasn't the honest truth back then. I was just upset at the time and wanted someone to listen to me, so I called for him.
I can't believe anything you're telling me anymore, Gabby.
Please believe me, all right?
Why should I believe you? You've already been cheating on me, and you lied to me about May. And to make things worse, you confessed on camera to the fact that you only ever got married to me for my money. Even if you didn't mean to say it like that at the time, you have already lied to me enough, and I don't want to live with you anymore.
I really think of you as the most important thing to me, Archie. I don't want to get this divorce after all. I understand that I really did some awful things to you, but I'm going to work on changing myself now, and I'll make sure that you're the only man I love. So please, 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 forgive me.
You only want me to be your husband still because you don't want others to find out about how you cheated on me and had a baby with your other man, right? Even your friend who helped you stage that photo was shocked to hear about this. She thought that I was the problem because I stopped helping you with May and was never around the house. And that's why she agreed to help you. But after hearing the truth from me, she started to cry and apologize for what she'd done.
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna get so much money from that cruddy husband of mine. Once I have money, let's go on a vacation together.
What?
I have my parents take care of the kid. I never really wanted to have a child anyway. I'm sure once I have everyone thinking I was a victim, I'll be in the clear for having cheated. Do you know who said all these things?
What the hell?
When you were over at my little sister's house, you were sending all these messages to Bill, right? While you were sleeping over at Riley's place, she took a look at your phone and at the text you were sending him.
Huh? So she just disregarded my privacy?
Riley's told me that if you want to sue her for that, then she'll pay up. She knew you'd get upset over that, but she doesn't regret it.
This isn't about getting money from her.
Don't ever tell me that I'm important to you ever again. It makes me want to throw up. I'm also planning on showing all this stuff to your mom and dad.
Archie, wait. I really am so sorry for everything. I get it. Let's get a divorce, but just don't tell my parents about the truth.
No, I think I will tell them. I would like everyone who knows you to know just how awful of a woman you really are, how awful of a wife you are, how awful of a mother you are, how awful of a daughter you are.
If you do that to me, though, I'll be kicked out of my mom and dad's. I've got to take care of May by myself right now, right? You wouldn't dare make her suffer for something I did, right?
Shut the hell up, Gabby. You don't give a dang about May, or else you would have never said that you'd leave her with your parents and go on vacation with Bill. I don't think you should be allowed to have any kids.
I'm so sorry, Archie. I messed up. I messed up so badly, and I want you to know that I am sorry for it. Forgive me, please. Please don't do anything that will ruin my future.
These past few months for me have felt like hell. I had to watch as someone like you gave birth to someone that wasn't mine, and I was never able to confront you about Bill. I knew that divorcing you the moment I found out about all of this, I would have been hurting myself as well. So that's why for weeks I was stuck trying to decide whether I should really be caring for May or not, when she was never really my child. But I guess you never really cared about me to begin with. Hearing that from those recordings and my sister makes me feel as though I lost everything.
I am so sorry, Archie. I'm sorry for hurting you. I will literally get on my knees and beg you for forgiveness. So please find some way to keep yourself from telling my parents.
Say whatever you like, but it's far too late for me to hold back. I've already been preparing for this divorce for months now. I think that it's time for me to act and make you experience the I've been living in. You were the one that chose to cheat on me, right? I'm going to make sure that you take responsibility for that. You went and tore holes in both my life and your daughter's life. So I'm going to make sure that after today, you never get to do as you please again. From there, I immediately started working with my lawyer to have the divorce processed. Gabby cried and cried about how she didn't want to get a divorce, but I knew deep down she was lying through her teeth again and that she wanted a divorce just as badly. It took a bit of help from her parents, but they were soon able to force her to sign the divorce paperwork and finish the deal. After that, I was able to get a settlement from both Gabby and Bill, who she had cheated on me with. And luckily for myself, they were both able to pay me right away. In Bill's case, he happened to already have 3 kids of his own, and so his wife didn't end up divorcing him for their sakes. But as punishment for doing all this, his pissed off wife told him he would not be getting any money from her anymore, and that for the rest of his life, he'd be doing all the chores in the house for her. And as for Gabby, she was kicked out of her parents' house and without them even giving her a chance to make a comment. Then they took May into their house and made sure that Gabby would never be able to care for her ever again. I think money-wise, it was a good thing for May that her grandparents decided to take her in and raise her, as Gabby has pretty much nothing now. It's not easy for me to say this about Gabby, but I feel 100% more trust in her parents caring for May than I ever did with Gabby. As of right now, I'm not really sure how Gabby is living with herself and what she's up to, but honestly, I don't even want to know. But when it comes to May, I still have this small amount of care in me that makes me hope she has a good future ahead of her. When it comes to myself after everything, I went back to my parents' house for a little bit while taking some time off work to let myself relax a little. At the time, I didn't want to really do anything, so a lot of my friends and family would end up taking care of me until I started to gain my energy back. I think now, I'm doing a lot better knowing that I still have people around me that I can trust. My sister has even come back to my parents' house a few times, and she would take me out on drives in her car. We both talked a lot about what happened, and her being around me really helped me have an outlet that I needed. And now I'm able to start going out again and even start to hang out with old friends of mine. The wounds to my heart are still not healed yet, not even close actually, but over time I'm sure I'll start to feel 100% again and might even go out to find myself a new woman. Before then, I need to take things slow and make sure not to burn myself out any. Step by step, I'm going to make sure that my happiness and my heart come back to the way they were before I ever married Gabby.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey there, Marcy. You're not doing anything tomorrow, right? Right? You're pregnant, so I'm sure you wouldn't have any plans to go out or anything. Hey, Nina. What's my sister-in-law doing messaging me out of the blue like this? No, I don't have any plans for tomorrow. Did you want something? I have to meet someone on short notice tomorrow. That's where you come in. I was hoping to ask you a little favor. A favor? Well, you see, the kids are off to school with it being Saturday tomorrow. I was supposed to be watching Billy, but this thing came up and there's no way I can get out of it. He's still in elementary school, so I can't exactly leave him at home. I'm in a real pinch here. Okay, I see. Let me guess. You want me to look after Billy for tomorrow? I'm afraid that's gonna be a little difficult. I'm really sorry to spring this on you, Marcy. But I don't know who else to ask. I'm in a really difficult spot here. You've always been really kind to me in the past, and you've done favors for me before, and I know that with you watching him, my mind will be at ease because you're so reliable. Nina, please. I can't do this again. Did you totally forget what happened last time I looked after him? He rampaged around my house like a little whirlwind. He was out of control, and I had no idea how to calm him down. Maybe so, but that was ages ago. He's much more mature now. I bet you'll barely recognize him. It was last month. He smashed my vacuum cleaner to pieces by swinging it around like a baseball bat, hung the cat upside down by his tail, ripped my curtains off the hooks by trying to climb up them, poured Pepsi all over my sofa. He stuffed the toilets full of toilet paper and blocked the pipes. I had to buy a new vacuum cleaner and have some of the upholstery on the sofa replaced because of him. And I can assure you, it wasn't cheap. Kids will be kids. Why you gotta make a mountain out of a molehill? There's no use crying over spilled milk. If you thought I was mad, you should have seen my husband. He was furious. Kids will be kids doesn't cover the untold havoc and destruction he wreaked on our house. So he has a mischievous streak. Well, so what? They all go through that phase. How can being full of energy be a bad thing? You're gonna have a little one on your own to think about soon. Think of it as training. Imagine how much easier it's gonna be to look after your own if you practice with my Billy now while you still can. I'm heavily pregnant, Nina. Even if his mischievous streak is just a phase, I don't have the energy or movement capabilities to deal with it right now. What if something happened to him? If I'm completely honest, the thought of having him scares me, Nina. If you're gonna live your life in fear of tiny probabilities, you may as well never leave the house in case you get hit by a bus. He'll be fine. Stop worrying. Anyways, this is getting nowhere. You know you'll enjoy his company. Just take him. Just let him do his thing. He doesn't need constant attention or anything. I bet you'll barely notice he's there. Give him free reign of the house. Go about your day as normal, and I'll have him back before you know it. Let him have free range on the house? That's exactly what I can't do. I can't risk him turning the place upside down like that again, which means I'd have to keep a constant eye on him, which I'm just not capable at this state. Fine, I get it. You don't want any trouble, right? No problem. I'll make sure he's on his best behavior. Happy now? Great. It's settled then. I'll be dropping him off tomorrow morning. Thanks, Marcy. You're a star. See ya. Thanks a bunch for today, Marcy. But I just got a message from my brother. He said he's bringing Billy back already? Why? Already? It's 7 p.m. He was never supposed to be staying the night. Your husband was really surprised too. He said he'd have come picked him up if he knew. Did you not tell him we were having him? Why would I go out of my way to let my husband know you were watching Billy? He's busy enough as he is. Besides, today was a last-minute thing. Hardly fair of me to go springing Charford duty on him at such a short notice. Hey, you didn't go on saying anything you shouldn't, did you? Saying anything I shouldn't? Such as? Like the stuff Billy did to your house when he got overexcited last time. I bet he was as good as gold today. Right? Right? Not at all. He broke our TV remote. He also completely ruined one of Trent's expensive leather work shoes. Oopsies. Whatever are we gonna do with that boy? Oh, kids will be kids. It can't be helped. Surely you get that. Yeah, of course I do. But I also get that when a child rampages out of control, it's the parent's job to take responsibility for its behavior. That's why I told your husband everything. Huh? You did what now? Why would you even do such a thing? He's gonna be furious with me. So what? Things in my house are actually broken because of your kid. Not only that, but he was so disrespectful to me and Trent. I've never known a little boy to have such a foul mouth before. I just can't stand by pretending nothing happened. I know this can't be an easy decision for you to have, but please, just give up. Like hell I'm giving up. Who do you think you are, talking smack about my kids like this? What gives you the right? He's not even yours. There's nothing wrong with my Billy. I'm not talking smack. I'm just saying it how it is. He's full of energy, and he isn't afraid to say what's on his mind. Taken on their own, I think those are good traits to have, but on the other hand, he was a wild, violent side, which in combination with his boundless energy and straight-talking personality is a recipe for disaster. A wild, violent side? What's that supposed to mean? I think you know what it means. He loses his temper and has violent tantrums whenever he doesn't get his way. He swears, he shouts, and he's impossible to control, especially for someone as heavily pregnant as me, and Trent hesitates to interfere too forcefully because he's not our kid. To be honest, Nina, the whole situation makes us feel both super awkward and uncomfortable, and we'd rather do without it all. Are you prepared to acknowledge that this is a little unfair to us? He's in elementary school. What can you do? Shouldn't you be doing something precisely because he's in elementary school? Can you imagine how much he'll struggle in life if he doesn't stop acting this way soon? It almost doesn't bear thinking about it. Do you want him to have a difficult life? What the hell does that have to do with you? You better not be telling me how to raise my boy, Nina. You keep your unsolicited opinions to yourself. We value individuality, and we're not about to suppress the way he expresses himself just because you and my stuck-up brother find it inconvenient. Don't think being my sister-in-law gives you the right to question my parenting skills. Respect my boundaries. Boundaries were disrespected the moment your son damaged our property. It became our business the moment you took it upon yourself to leave him at our house. God, you're annoying. Just shut up. You think you're so clever, don't you? You don't even have kids on your own. Don't preach at me, woman. Okay, Nina, if that's your attitude, I have nothing more to say to you. You can speak to your brother directly from now on. I'm done with this conversation. There are a few things about Billy that have been bugging him for a while now, so this is the perfect opportunity for you guys to get everything out in the open. Wait, is he still complaining about me? You do seriously need to learn to respect boundaries. Ugh. Chill. It's not like he's bad-mouthing him. It's about his breathing. He's breathing? What are you talking about? You know? My dad had diabetes before he died, right? I might have heard some things about that. I think I remember you telling me he died the year before last, but what about diabetes? We noticed it when Billy was playing in the living room yesterday, but we think he might be diabetic. What? Are you trying to say my Billy is fat? Sure, maybe he's a little on the larger side, but so what? He's maybe one size bigger than his classmates at best. Hardly diabetes territory. Who do you think you are calling someone else's kids fat? I'm not really calling him fat. You're the one who said it, Nina. I'm just saying, we think there might be a possibility he has diabetes. But yeah, you know what? Screw it. To be completely honest, he is unhealthily overweight, and I think you should do something about it. There it is. I knew it. You're nothing but a bully. So what if he's carrying an extra few pounds? Are you a doctor? No. So get off your high horses. What the hell are you basing this on anyway? He's overweight and his breathing's heavy. He was saying he had such a stomachache partially the whole time he was with us. When we asked him about it, he said he felt like that almost every day. Did you know? I bet you just made him eat something weird. We really didn't. How about thinking about what your son actually said before accusing me of poisoning him? Even if he doesn't have diabetes, it's still not normal for an 8-year-old to be suffering with chronic stomach aches every day. I don't need you to tell me that, Captain Obvious. Listen to me and listen to me clearly. If my husband gets mad at me over this, it's all your fault. I'll never forgive you if he does. You better prepare yourself for the hell I'm about to unleash on you. Oh my god, I can't believe you let an 8-year-old kid send you flying down a flight of stairs. I get that you're pregnant, but do you have literally zero physical strength? Being a mom is a really physical job, you know, Marcy. You'll never make it if this is what you're made of. You should start working out while you still have any free time left. You got some nerve to laugh at me after what just happened. You might not have been the one who did it, but it's your fault I ended up tumbling down a flight of stairs, Nina. My fault? I get that you're mad, but please, Marcy, let's be real. I had no idea that was gonna happen. I burst out laughing and spat my coffee out all over the TV when I heard. The only reason I let him in is because you said he was coming to apologize. I had no idea he was gonna throw a baseball at me. I'm covered in cuts and bruises and have a sprained wrist thanks to you. You have no idea? I was more surprised than anyone. He wasn't supposed to throw it so hard. It's not Billy's fault you lost your balance and fell all by yourself. You should be more careful in the future. Be careful of what? Spiteful little brats and their deranged mothers? Thankfully, it was only half flight of stairs, so all things considered, I got off lightly. I shudder to think what might happen if I fell from any higher. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Oh, lighten up, you drama queen. He's just a kid. Stop being so hard on him. I said this before, but the "he's just a kid" line will only get you so far. I find it horrifying that you're capable of laughing in a situation like this. Isn't there even a small part of you that thinks what you and your son did was horrible? You were the only one who got hurt. What's the big deal? Sure, you might be pregnant, but the baby's okay, right? God, who knew you were such a whiner? No use crying over spilled milk, sweetie. Surely everything's fine if your baby's okay? No. Huh? What do you mean, no? I mean, everything is not fine. No way. You have got to be kidding me. How could the baby be hurt? The flight of stairs was tiny. No way. I don't believe it. Surely, this can't be. Oh, forgive me. Looks like I gave you the wrong idea. The baby's fine. You saw me fall backwards covering my stomach, right? Jesus, Marcy, don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack. You made me think I was about to get knocked at the door from the cops. This is no good for my heart. Don't ever do that again. You're right. How careless of me. Still, you're not out of the woods yet. Turns out Billy's not doing so great after all. Huh? What do you mean? Your husband came over the other day. That's when he told me that Billy got diagnosed with diabetes when his test results came back from the hospital. Really? No way. I bet you're just trying to scare me. Like I'd do that at all, let alone over something like this. It's the truth, Nina. He was really grateful. He said he never would have had him checked if not for me. You're not home now, right? Your husband said he wants to speak to you when you get back. Oh my god. How could my Billy... The type of diabetes he has is a lifestyle disease. You should have paid more attention to his diet and exercise habits. Your husband's besides himself with guilt. He's beating himself up saying he should have been around more. Why does my Billy have to suffer but your baby is fine? This isn't fair. Don't screw me around, Marcy. Is resentment towards my unborn baby for being healthy really the position you're going to take on this? Just when I thought you couldn't sink any lower. If you have enough free time to be sending me these petty, childish messages, you should go home and speak to your husband. Something tells me you're gonna be doing some serious talking about your futures. It probably won't be an easy conversation to have, but it can't be avoided. Marcy, you knew this was gonna happen, didn't you? Is this your way of taking revenge on me? Are you messaging me at this time? I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't play dumb with me. You're the worst. How could you do this to me? I hate you. How are you gonna make this right? I'm repeating myself, but again, I have no idea what you're talking about. You're free to get angry, but at least explain first so I have some context. How am I supposed to reply if I don't know what you mean? My husband told me, we have to put Billy on a calorie-restricted diet from now on, until he loses weight. Do you have any idea how Billy reacted when he found out? He's going berserk. What a surprise! I can hardly say I'm shocked from how he behaved when he stayed with us. How do you expect him to have any discipline or emotional control when you give him whatever he wants, whenever he wants it? He broke all of my favorite ornaments. You will pay for this. Tell me how you're gonna fix it now! How I'm gonna fix it? I don't see how this has anything to do with me. It has everything to do with you. You're the one who told my husband. He's almost as angry as Billy. He flipped out at me for what happened with Billy's baseball prank. Apparently, I'm in the wrong because you're pregnant and it was dangerous. Whatever. Of course he's gonna be mad. You're lucky I didn't have a miscarriage. Even still, I'm injured myself, you know? Your husband apologized profusely and agreed you pay me compensation if I agree not to take things to court. But it'd be well within my rights to press charges if I wanted to. Whatever. Quit droning on me, Marcy. You're so boring. The issue here is that my husband is demanding I come up with compensation money I don't have. I don't have the kind of cash. What are you suggesting I do? Get a job? Sure, why not? Not that I care how you do it though. I'm already happy your husband already agreed to pay me a whole lot in one go tomorrow, so he's the one you're technically gonna be in debt to. How you come up with that cash ain't my problem. Well, it is my problem. It's a big problem for me. Why? Think about it. Billy has to go on a calorie-restrict diet for months, which means that not only do I have to work, but I have to look for work while looking after a rampaging 8-year-old who starts smashing up my house the moment I refuse him candy. I can't do that, and you can't expect me to. If you want to know the reason for Billy's rampages, and the reason for how he got fat in the first place, how about you look in the mirror? You have no choice but to accept and make the best of it. This cannot be happening. Why did everything go so wrong? Why is this only happening to me? You said it yourself. You value individuality. This is the result of that policy. You have no choice but to resign yourself to and accept the situation you created. Kids will be kids, right? Surely you're not going to suppress the way Billy expresses himself just because you find it inconvenient. After that, Nina started working part-time while trying to keep an eye on top of Billy's raging tantrums at home. Unlike his wife, Nina's husband is a decent guy. He seems to feel a strong sense of responsibility for his son's tantrums, and even more so for the diabetes diagnosis, and he is doing his best to help out with everything regarding his son. But he has no patience left for his wife, and even to this day, he continues to extract the monthly repayments from her on the compensation he paid me. To tell you the truth, I was sure that he was gonna divorce over what happened, but apparently he wants to give her one last chance. And somehow or other, they're still just about hanging on by a thread. There's also the fact that divorce probably lead to Nina getting custody of Billy. He probably can't bear the thought of letting that pair of them loose on the world, both because of the damages they do to society, but also themselves. So he's staying close by to make sure neither of them do anything too outrageous. I hope Nina takes a long, hard look at herself in the mirror and realizes how lucky she is to have such a devoted and forgiving husband. I like to believe that we all have the capacity for change, and I've got my fingers crossed that my sister-in-law will use this experience to become a better person. As for me, my injuries from falling down the flight of steps healed up nicely, and not long after the events for today's episode, I gave birth to a healthy baby boy. As stressful as the whole thing was, I'm actually grateful for Nina and Billy, because they taught me a lot about the world and myself. I'm gonna raise my son using them as examples of how not to behave.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey, Jerome. I'm not feeling too good today. Do you think it'd be best if I went to the hospital for this?
You're not feeling well? I'm sorry to hear that. What's hurting or not feeling right?
For some reason, I've been feeling pretty weak. I've had days where I feel sleepy, and I just don't have it in me to do anything. At first I thought it was just to the atmospheric pressure changes and such, but I don't think it has anything to do with that anymore. If it were that, I'd at least still have a migraine right now and everything, but now it's just a normal headache.
You're carrying a baby right now, so there'll be times where you feel fatigued. Make sure you eat a balanced meal enough for the two of you.
But I've had pretty bad headaches as well. That's not going away. I'm just worried this could all be affecting the baby in some way. What do you think I should do, Jerome?
Well, for starters, try sleeping a bit more. I've noticed that you stay up pretty late watching TV, so maybe you should just sleep in a bit.
I've been sleeping a lot, though. I know that at times I'm awake later than you, but I make sure to at least stay in bed until around 9 or 10 in the morning.
Also, even though you're pregnant, you still act as though you can do whatever you want to yourself. I think that your body is a lot weaker by just having to carry another human. So maybe just stay home more often, instead of overdoing it by always being up and moving around.
But I'm not overdoing it. And when I go out, I make sure to wear enough clothes to keep myself warm so that I won't catch anything like a cold. I may be in a skirt sometimes, but I make sure to wear thick leggings underneath.
But I'm saying that just by being pregnant, your body will make you have to care for it more. Perhaps you should be taking things slower and keeping yourself very wrapped up. Even think about starting to drink warm water in the morning. Get your system to start up a bit better and be ready for the day.
But I don't feel cold when I'm up and moving. I've always felt hot even when I'm not carrying a baby, so I'd like to at least cool off a little.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Maybe that's what's causing you to feel bad. Maybe it's better that for the time being, you stay home and stop going out when it's cold. If you don't take care of yourself enough while pregnant, you're gonna keep feeling sick.
But I've been watching myself. I've been sleeping in as much as I can. I've been eating pretty well, and I've gotten staying warm while I go out and about. Why do you seem to not understand me, Jerome?
It's not that I don't understand you, but I'm just very busy with work right now and don't have the time to sit here going through every small thing that could be making you feel bad.
Are you kidding me? I just wanted to let you know that I'm not doing too well, and whether I should go to the doctors or not. Why would you say that you don't have time to answer that one thing for me?
Well, if you really do feel bad enough, then go to the hospital and get it checked out. It's not like our insurance is gonna go up when you've seen the doctors once, will it? I just wanted to make sure you actually felt that bad, though, before making such a big deal out of it. And you're an adult, too, so don't even feel that you have to ask me if you should go or not. If you don't feel good enough and are worried, just go.
Jerome, recently you've been a bit harsh to me. Before you used to be so kind to me, yet now you seem to always be stressed about anything I do. What happened?
Well, let me think.
Hey, come on, tell me. Did I do something wrong? If I did anything to upset you recently, I want to know about it so that I can apologize to you. I hate having to sit and wait around, not knowing what's going on because you're too selfish and upset to tell me.
You just asking that is a bit of a pain.
Huh? Why though? I have no idea what you want. Tell me what's going on with you. Don't just sit there acting like an upset child. You already know that me carrying a baby is messing up my hormones, so you should try to understand that I can't control my emotions well enough anymore.
I don't want to talk anymore. I'm getting pissed off just reading these texts from you.
Do you think you could at least come with me to the hospital? I don't want to have to leave all by myself right now.
Why would I go? Go there by yourself. You're able to get yourself out of the house all the time, so why is the hospital any different?
Are you not worried about my health at all? Are you not even worried about your baby's health right now? Aren't you being a jerk right now?
I'm not gonna say it again.
Why are you acting like this toward me right now, Jerome? Don't you see that the baby inside me right now is mine and yours? You're acting like it's not even your problem anymore.
You think so? Say whatever you want, I guess. I don't have time for you to make a choice.
We're going to become parents very soon. We're going to have to work together to make sure we raise our baby properly. So if you have something that's bothering you right now, you have to tell me so that we can make things right. If things keep going the way they are now between us, I'll feel so bad for the baby.
You want to make things right? I don't think you're hearing what I have to say about you will make things right.
Well, I do. How about today, when you get home, we discuss all of this in person. I want to make a time for us to just sit down and chat about this. And I promise that no matter what you tell me, I'll remain calm and work on making things better for our future.
I'm not gonna be home until later tonight, so that won't work.
But recently you've always been coming home late night.
I'm working overtime.
Are you sure that you're actually working though? You seemed a bit strange lately. I don't know. It's just like you're not the fun and vibrant Jerome I married.
Think whatever you'd like about me. Either way, I'm busy right now, so you go run off to the hospital on your own.
But I want you to come with me. Are you really just going to leave me with a cold shoulder?
You're being rude by constantly texting me when I have a lot of work to get done.
You're being the worst. And to think that I've been wanting to make a warm family for our baby when they come. Why the heck has this happened? I never once tried to hurt you so badly that you'd act this way towards me. After going to the hospital to get tested, I've been told that I needed to be admitted. They said for a little while, I'll have to remain here so that they can run even more tests and to watch and make sure that the baby remains okay. I knew that there was something bad going on with my body. Why couldn't you have just listened to me about it?
Hmm?
That's it?
Well, just take things easy, I guess. At least you're at the hospital now, so that's a load off my back.
Well, you could at least be a bit more worried about me. Acting like you're fine with what's happening is wrong. Why do you think it's okay to be careless with me?
Why would I still need to worry about you? Is what's going on with you right now gonna kill you? Because if it is, then that's another thing, and I might think about coming.
I don't think it's bad right now, but they are saying that they need me to stay in the hospital to keep their eyes on me. So that means I'm not doing as okay as you think, especially when all the tests haven't been done yet.
But I think you being in their hands now is a whole lot better. So is there a reason for me to still be worried about you? You have specialists right there with you that can worry for you. And if something serious does happen, they'll call me and let me know if it's worth worrying about as well.
But if your wife's in the hospital, isn't it normal for you to come in and see her at least once? And I'm also pregnant at the moment with our baby, Jerome. Don't you feel anything at all for either one of us?
Well, I suppose you could say we aren't just any old couple though, Nancy.
What? They're saying I have to be here for 3 days. Are you going to come and see me at all?
I will not.
What? So you're not even going to come in and see me? I won't be home for 3 days, Jerome.
It's just 3 days, Jesus. You can make it 3 days by yourself, right?
Come on, Jerome. There's no way you can have that kind of horrifying attitude about me.
Me going to the hospital to see you won't change anything, right? I'm not even a doctor or anything.
Who cares whether you are or not? That's not the problem at hand right now. Do you even love me anymore?
I wonder about that. Well, if I had to be blunt, I'd have to say that I don't really know anymore.
Are you kidding me? Now I'm pissed. I'm going to talk with my mom about how laid back you're acting about this.
Do whatever you'd like, Nancy. I'm sure even she won't be that upset.
You think so, huh? My mom is not only really scary, but she also makes sure you understand when you're wrong. You better be ready when she comes for you. And I won't promise that I'll be behind you to calm her down.
I heard all about you from my daughter. What the hell are you trying to do right now?
Hello, Miranda. What all exactly did my wife end up telling you?
She is crying right now. She told me that you're being a jerk and that you won't even come to see her in the hospital.
She's even crying now. She really has gone and thrown a fit about all of this.
You're the one that made her start to cry, you idiot. I feel really bad for her right now. You better get your butt to the hospital right now and see her.
No, thank you.
Jerome, you'd better quit all this messing around bullcrap right now. If you can't take this serious, then I'm going to question your ability to be my daughter's husband and her baby's father.
Well, then I'll just leave the two of them.
I don't even want to understand what you just said.
I'm saying if you don't like me here, then I'll be okay with divorcing her. Then I'll no longer have to impress you as her husband, right?
What is wrong with you, Jerome? This can't possibly mean that you're doing something sly behind our backs, right? I've heard all about you over the past few weeks from Nancy. She says that you've been staying out late for work every day.
Do you think that I'm cheating on her? Please don't say such needless crap.
Then why have you changed all of a sudden and started treating my daughter like crap? Does this mean you have yourself a new lady friend that you've been spending time with?
The other way around. The other way! I'm not the one that's been sly behind my back. The one doing that would be your daughter. And on top of that, she was able to keep it all a secret from you as well.
What the hell are you talking about? Don't try and push all the blame onto Nancy now.
I have a very good reason for never coming home early from work anymore, and I have someone that can cover for me.
Someone to cover for you?
I'll let you know something about her. Your daughter goes out quite a lot. Normally, I wouldn't question where my wife is going all the time, but...
That's just her going out to hang with her friends and such.
Then why would I have someone to cover for me on that? Do you really think your daughter has enough people to go out with and to always have dinner with all the time?
What are you trying to say?
Last month, your daughter and her friend went to a spa together. Do you know about that?
I know she went out, yes. She was with one of her friends that she made in high school, right?
And that's the thing. She should have gone with that friend to the spa and all. But that friend is in Europe right now, and they haven't been in the US for the past 3 months.
Huh?
Also, ever since your daughter became pregnant, she's been going out more than before. When I'm at work or gonna get tasks done, she will sneak out. Don't you find that a little strange?
How would you know that she's going out all the time when you're not home?
I put a camera up in the house.
A camera?
I began to wonder when she was sneaking out of the house and where she planned on going. And that's why I began to look into things a bit closer.
And what the hell has she been up to?
Tomorrow I plan to come see you. If you're fine with that, me and you can talk about this together. Then we can go see what she's been up to together.
Huh? Together?
Your daughter has been going somewhere to meet someone every time she's out. If you're able to understand that for yourself, then you'll be able to sympathize with me on this.
Mom, can you come and see me in the hospital today? Nobody has come to see me yet, and I'm getting lonely. Not even Jerome is planning to come see me today. Isn't he the worst?
I think you're a lot worse than I am.
Huh? Mom? This is you, right?
This would be Jerome.
Jerome? What? This is my mom's number, isn't it?
It sure is. But there's no way you're calling me the worst right now. Why exactly are you trying to make yourself look like the victim?
Why are you replying to me and not my mom? You shouldn't be using my mom's phone, right?
Well, right now I'm with your mom. And just a second ago, her and I met with someone very important.
Why would you and my mom be with one another right now? You guys never said anything to me about meeting up, especially when you haven't even come to see me yet, dear.
I'd invited her out with me. Your mom was wondering if I was cheating on you or not, so I wanted to prove her wrong. And I also planned to show her what you've been doing, so I brought her out with me to give her the best evidence I had.
Why are you acting like I've been doing something wrong? I haven't even done anything, Jerome.
Don't try and play stupid with me.
I don't get what you mean. You're the one that's been messing with me, right? And now even I'm starting to think that you've been cheating on me.
And what made you think that I've been the one cheating on you?
Because you've been coming home late all the time. And you started to act like you don't love me anymore.
The reason I've been making it home later is because I've been meeting with someone.
And that's a woman you're meeting with, right?
What kind of woman do you think I'll be meeting? The people that I've been meeting with have been my lawyer and an investigator.
An investigator?
I've only had time to meet them on my way home from work, so that's why I'd never be home until after 8 p.m.
Why are you meeting with them?
Well, that would be because I'm having them investigate you.
What?
In your case, you're always going out on your own, right? Where the hell have you been going?
I've told you every time that I'm going out to meet someone.
But have you really been meeting those people that you tell me you're gonna see? The person that you told me you've been meeting me most isn't even in the US anymore.
Huh?
Also, Nancy, you've been trying your best to hide when you go out, right?
I've not been trying to hide anything.
Ugh. Actually, I've had a camera in our house installed for the past few months. I knew of every time you left that house while I wasn't around.
A camera? When did you happen to put one of those in?
I then had my investigator go out and find out where you'd head off to all the time. And now, I know everything about you. You've been frequenting another man every time you go out.
He's just a casual friend.
So you just take a casual male friend of yours to the hotel all the time around lunchtime.
You know about that as well?
I told you that I've looked into everything with you. No matter how you try and change the story, I have evidence. And I know that you have in fact been going out with another man. In other words, you've been cheating on me.
Did you meet with him?
Yep, I was just with him a second ago.
When you went out with my mom? You seriously brought her with you? To go meet him?
You're a freaking disgrace of a daughter. Why the hell would you do something so vile?
Mom?
You have no right making yourself out as a victim when you've been the one cheating on your husband. And now I'm starting to really wonder if that baby inside you is really Jerome's or not.
Stop that! This baby is Jerome's.
Well, I've already heard more than enough from your secret man. No matter how you try to hide things from me and Jerome, we already had a whole breakdown of everything from him. The reason you started to feel unwell is because even though you've been pregnant, you go out with him and sleep together to pass the time.
You're wrong, Mom. Please, listen to me. But first, can we all calm down a little?
I'm not wrong about diddly squat. You even kept all of this hidden from your own mother. I had trusted everything you told me, and you made me look like a fool in front of Jerome with everything I yelled at him about. You've embarrassed me for the last time.
That man and me have only been with each other for a little bit, and we plan to break things off here real soon. I never thought you both doubt me enough to look into it.
And what do you think that means to us? Do you think you could finish things with him before the baby was born? What does that mean? You've been cheating on Jerome, and it doesn't matter how long you plan to do it for.
I know that, but...
I don't want to hear any more excuses out of you, Missy. You're going to have to pay for this now, and there's not a dang thing you can do about it.
Are you not going to side with me on this, Mom?
I don't even want to be around you anymore.
Why not? Please just listen to me, Mom. Siding with that jerk is not fair. Mom?
Sorry about that, Nancy. I guess you'll have to talk with me again. Your mom has just told something you want to hear, and that's that she will no longer talk to you. And it seems that the man you were with has said goodbye to you as well.
What did you guys talk about?
Did you know that he's married as well? You're gonna have to pay some major settlements, and I'm gonna make sure to hand in all the evidence. He told me he had tried his best to hide this relation between you two, but his wife soon found out as well.
That prick. Does he think he can just run away from me now?
Well, he seemed like the kind of guy to do that to someone he had no feelings for. I honestly didn't think you'd be able to say goodbye that quickly. Anywho, I'm gonna make sure you pay up for everything you've done this far.
Wait, are you planning to leave me too?
I've been planning on a divorce for a while now.
And that's why you've been so cold to me? You knew that I was cheating on you?
You know the reason why I was so cold to you. Why wouldn't I be that way after you hid all this from me? And even try to blame me? I was so dumb with you, and yet you still try to play dumb by having your mom get involved.
What are we going to do about the baby? It seems like you still doubt it being your baby. I'm sure that this is your baby, Jerome.
Well, if it does turn out to be mine, I'll take it. But I have a very good suspicion that this is in fact not mine. When I learned about how long you and that other guy had been sleeping together for, I knew I couldn't trust it. Well, once we get a test run on the baby, we'll know for sure though.
Are you sure? If it does turn out to be your baby, you'll take it?
But if that does turn out to be the case, you're gonna have to pay child support. I'll make sure to not only get my settlement money from you, but that you continue to pay up every month for the baby.
But if I do that, I won't have any money for myself.
Well, this is on you, so there's nothing else you can do. No matter whose baby it even ends up being, you're still gonna be stuck paying a lot of money. That's the reward you asked for by cheating on me.
If you understand that I don't have the money though, why do you keep asking for me?
I understand what you've done, and that's why I won't go easy on you. Literally, the moment I knew you'd been cheating on me, I made sure that I'd get my revenge.
Please, don't say such scary things like that. Give me.
I'm so looking forward to when you get out of that hospital. I'll have my lawyer get in touch with you, and the next time we meet, we can all have a wonderful discussion about all of this. You said you wanted to talk about this all in person, right? You should be happy I've agreed to. After that, we immediately made sure to do a DNA test on her baby. Of course, that baby ended up not being mine in the end. Not only would she be paying the settlement I asked for, but she'd be stuck with that baby on her own. Luckily enough, she did end up paying everything I asked for in one payment, but that was only thanks to her borrowing a large amount of money from the bank and putting herself into a hole. Of course, she wouldn't be getting any help from the man that decided to help her make that baby either, so she was on her own for everything. Nancy was able to have a safe birth, but things would begin to get rough after that. Well, none of that has anything to do with me though, so her and I haven't talked to each other since. But there was one day that I got a text from her mom asking me if I knew where her daughter had gone. Apparently, she left with her baby and ran away to hide. And naturally, I had no idea where that idiot could have gone off to. So then, things between me and her mom had ended there. I'm sure that things ended up with Miranda having to care for the baby, while Nancy was never heard from again. That's until at least a month had passed, and there was some news about her on the TV. She had apparently ran away, out of state to go chase down that man she'd been sleeping with while married to me. She was able to find where he was living, and broke in, threatening him for leaving her to deal with me all by herself or something like that. In the end, though, it turns out that he was not that sane either about what happened, and beat her senseless for breaking in before the police arrived and arrested them both. I'm sure her mom has heard the news of this, but I doubt she's ever gonna bail her out of jail for what she'd done. And it would only be more of a pain having Nancy back at home. As for me, I left the big city. I moved into the countryside where I took over the work of my parents. I think life's much better now, having the comfort of nature and my family again.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.